The Women's World Cup
with Juliet Farrington
on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Hello from Sydney, where England continue their World Cup campaign. The Lionesses already have 3 points and 1 win in the bag.
It's Stanway from the spot again for England. Second attempt, straight run up again, and this time she scores. She goes the same way.
I thought that we had moments where we connected really well, but I think there's a few kinks still to work out. I think we could have dominated the game better than what we did.
Cheers around Brisbane Stadium, the bulk of which is occupied by England fans. But a few sighs of relief, I'm sure, as well.
You got to find a way to win. You got to get that result. Unfortunately, England have done that tonight.
Can they make it 2 from 2 with a more convincing win against Denmark?
We just think, okay, who's fit, who's available, who's our next opponent? Do we have to make some changes in the approach to the next game or not? And then we make decisions and go.
We're looking forward to the game. We know it's going to be difficult. England has a very good team. European champions. We are the underdogs.
We know what we can offer as a team. We know what we can offer as individuals. We've got fantastic individuals in fantastic form.
Lucy Bronze there. We are here, 5 Live Sport, at the Sydney Football Stadium. It's the home of the NRL's Sydney Roosters. We are right next door to the Sydney Cricket Ground, the SCG, and we've got a crowd of 40,000 expected for this second group match between England and Denmark. The players arrived here just over an hour ago. They were taking in the scenes. Pernilla Harder, Denmark's key threat, joining some of the England players, having a little chat with some of her ex-Chelsea teammates. Katie Zellum, she got a Polaroid camera out. This is a massive, bulky camera that she carries about everywhere she goes on tour with England, and she absolutely loves it. She was telling me that last week. So plenty of pictures were being taken on the pitch as well, and the crowd there filling in nicely. So many face painted with the England St George, so many in England shirts, and so many flags as well. And a win for England. Now, it could be enough to send them through, but that will depend on what China does against Haiti later on. But England, Denmark level on points and goals going into this one. We've got Karen Bardsley and Vicky Sparks alongside me here in Sydney. We've got Gilly Flaherty in London, and the only talking point so far, which we will be talking about, it's big, and it's after Vicky has given us the England team news.
Because Rachel Daly is back in to the England side, and looking at the warm-ups here at the Sydney Football Stadium, she will be playing at left back. So that's one of 2 changes that England have made from that unconvincing opening victory over Haiti. So Daly in for Jess Carter, and Lauren James is in for Lauren Hemp. So we'll give you the lineup in full, Jules, for England. Mary Earps in goal, the back 4 of Lucy Bronze, Millie Bright, Alex Greenwood moving to centre half, and Rachel Daly at left back, where she played all the way through the Euros for England last summer as they won their first major trophy. But she's the Golden Boot winner in the WSL this season. 30 goals in 30 games in all competitions for Aston Villa. Ahead of them, it's Georgia Stanway, Kira Walsh and Ella Toone, with Chloe Kelly, Lauren James and Alessia Russo up front. Just one line on Denmark's team news. Raga Maria Madsen replaces Everton attacker Nicolina Sorensen. That is their only change from their late win over China. Their record goal scorer and captain Pernilla Harder, recently of Chelsea, leads the line for the Danes.
So, Gilly Flaherty, is this the team that you wanted to see after that performance against Haiti?
Hello, guys. I'm pleased that Lauren James is in. For me, I think when she come on, she brings something different, but I would have rather her been in the 10 role. I think, for me, out wide, out right. Not that it's not her strength, but I think she's much better in the middle. She's a lot more creative in there, and I think the link-up play. In regards to Daly, I find it mad that she hasn't played left back for England since the end of the Euros, and it's near 12 months, and the amount of games that England have played, and they've still not been able to find a left back that they're comfortable with. But it's disappointing not to see her at number 9 with her goals to game ratio. But obviously I know how Rach is as a character and as a person. She'll just be pleased to be in the starting team.
Hiya, Jilly. Around Rachel Daly, I think it's an interesting situation, isn't it? I think you raised a really good point around the time that it's taken to find someone suitable enough with the technical ability. But we all know what Rach is capable of doing. We've seen her do it in a 9 or at left back as well. But I think, she's got a real specific ask today, and I think she's going to be really, really versatile, not only 1v1 defending, but getting forward as well. And I think that was kind of maybe what we've been missing from this England backline in terms of the versatility to build up in possession a little bit quicker, go and support the attack in the midfield. I imagine we'll probably see a lot of fullback inverting. To your point around Lauren James, we'll probably see her come inside, a left-sided player coming in on the right, joining up with Alessia Russo up top, could cause a lot of problems centrally for Denmark.
It's a big call, isn't it? A huge call from Sarina Wiegman, because I think all the points you make there, Karen, are very valid. And I know we're going to talk a bit later about whether this is the England team that most England fans wanted to see coming into this World Cup or not. But Sarina Wiegman, as much as she protested somewhat yesterday in the press conference, both in her interview with us and in the press conference, saying, you all say I'm a manager that doesn't change. Well, that's just from the Euros last year, and that's really where you've drawn this predominantly from. Yes, she named the same starting 11 at the Euros last year, but going back to the World Cup with the Netherlands in 2019, she made just 5 changes during the entire tournament, 7 games as they reached the final. 2 of those were enforced because Van der Graaf was in and out of the side with injury. Go back to the Euros in 2017, which she won with the Netherlands. It was only 3 changes, and again, one of those was to reinsert a player into the starting lineup. She wants to name a regular, consistent starting 11 when she comes to a major tournament, and this just underlines that she has not decided, or she had decided and then saw against Haiti, that this combination of players, the 11 that started against Haiti, didn't work. It is unusual for her to change a lineup at a major tournament. It's not unheard of, but it's unusual, and I think it does show that she had uncertainty in her mind coming into this tournament. And we said, didn't we, Karen? I remember at the Portugal friendly that they drew coming into this tournament, with Leah Williamson out, centre half and left back were the key questions. And were you going to play Alex Greenwood at centre half or at left back? But ironically, it's actually going forward, even though it's a defensive change, that is potentially the reason why Sarina Wiegman has made this change, because for all England's scoring prowess at the Euros as they won last summer, they've not scored now from open play. If you count the behind closed doors friendly draw with Canada, they've not scored from open play in 4 matches now.
We've got to build up a light show as we count down to kick-off here in Sydney. Gilly, the points that Vicky was making there, it's like as if that performance against Haiti has forced Sarina Wiegman into making those changes. She called for more ruthlessness. She wants to see that from her side against Denmark. Do you think we will see that with the changes that she's made?
Yeah, well, I think if you're talking back to that Portugal game, the amount of chances that England created there, but they weren't clinical enough and they weren't ruthless with it. Probably looking at the group, Haiti would probably been the game that people would have said would have been the easiest game for England. And it proved to be the complete opposite. It was a frustrating game for them. But yeah, it's brave for her to obviously make change, but that's what it takes for a manager to do. Obviously you're looking at a previous record in that she hasn't made a lot of changes, but then she can ultimately say at the end of the day it worked because she won with both the Netherlands and with England. But yeah, I think for me it needs a little bit of a freshen up top, because like I said, they are creating chances, so that's the promising side of things, but we're not being clinical enough going forward, and ultimately in tournament football you need to put the ball in the back of the net.
We can see the Danish players in their changing room getting ready for this match. We're around about 15 minutes away from kickoff. Karen, I know we've spoken a lot about Rachel Daly, and quite rightly so, but Lauren James as well. She has earned her right for her starting place tonight.
Absolutely, Jules. I think Lauren James has been that kind of creativity I think that we've been missing with the likes of Fran Kirby not being available. We obviously saw the spaces that Fran would pick up during the Euros and the unpredictability of her movement, but also her timing and when she plays the ball or when she makes the runs, etc. Jill, you'll know all about Fran Kirby as well. But yeah, listen, I personally would have rather seen Lauren James in the midfield as well. I think Lauren Hemp does really well down that left-hand side to kind of work the channels, but also get around the fullbacks and provide crosses. But I think Sarina Wiegman probably wants something a little bit different from this game, and I think that's why she's picked Lauren James, because I imagine we'll see a lot of, like I said, attacking the wings, deliveries from deep as well, but also cutting in on that right foot.
Is it that understanding as well that England fans were looking for, do you think we'll get from this England team?
How do you mean?
Understanding in the players that we didn't see perhaps against Haiti.
I think one thing I think Vicky alluded to earlier was around kind of the build-up and the chance creation. Yeah, we are seeing a lot of chances being created in that Haiti side, and I think we need to give credit where it's due as well. Like, Haiti were excellent on the evening in terms of filling in, making it really, really difficult for Kira Walsh to get on the ball. And I think I saw an article from Emma Hayes earlier mentioning the impact that Lauren James is going to have on Kira Walsh and helping her get into the game and take some of the pressure off of just simply going through Kira Walsh in the build-up. Yeah, I think this will be a really interesting game, especially with the likes of Denmark wanting to get on the ball and build and build and build. So it should play right into both teams' hands, and it should be a little bit more interesting than the Haiti game.
Yeah, two teams are level on points and level on goals as well. I spoke to Lucy Bronze yesterday, and I asked her what the key messages had been on the England training pitch this week.
I think it's we know what we can offer as a team, we know what we can offer as individuals. You've seen it not just in an England shirt, but throughout the season. Our players who play their club football, whether it's Spain, Germany or England or wherever, we've got fantastic individuals in fantastic form, and I'm sure we'll see that at the World Cup at some point in more consistent bursts of performances. I think in the Haiti's game there were good moments, and there were a lot of opportunities. I think, like Serena said, if we'd be worried if we weren't creating the opportunities, but we actually are. It's just putting the ball in the back of the net a few more times, I think, would settle a few more nerves.
Is it about just trying to find that balance between the experienced players and the younger players, the new faces that have come in and have that understanding? Because understanding takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, we went into the Euros last year with a lot of young faces as well, a lot of people in their first tournament, and then those players are now stepping up for a first World Cup and probably being asked a little bit more than what they were asked at the Euros. The people like Ellen White and Jill Scott, those kind of two key names in terms of experiences, they kind of added a lot to the Euro squad that people probably didn't really realise. I think a lot of people want to talk about Leah and Beth and Fran in terms of their quality on the pitch, but the experience off the pitch is just as important. So I think those things are a little bit different, and getting used to World Cup football and playing a team like Haiti's, we've never played them before. I don't think many teams have, and to be honest, they have some fantastic players, a little bit unknown. I can imagine some of the teams in Europe will, obviously Olympique Lyonnais already got ahead of the curve on that one. But yeah, they have some really good players, and the World Cup is where these players kind of make a name for themselves and really go on the stage, whereas being in Europe, that already happens.
Pernilla Harder was talking earlier, suggesting that this was actually a game that A, she's looking forward to playing in, but B, it'll be a game where, because you both know each other so well as teams, that's a good advantage to have on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I think it can offer maybe a game that's not as unknown, not as transitional, but not speak too soon. But yeah, I mean, they've got many players that play in England, obviously Pernilla Harder being one of them, players that play against week in, week out at club level, know them a lot better at international level. In terms of being a European team, you tend to know what a European style more looks like. So yeah, it could offer, I guess, in the game it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. Sometimes makes it a little bit more cagey because you're waiting for one person to go, but another reason could be like familiarity, so it's a little bit more confidence in the pitch. So we'll wait and see what comes.
Well, as you were listening to Lucy Bronze, we've had the big screens well and truly in action. We've had the dance cam around the stadium. We've had the bringing the moves, as well as the photographers make their way and get into their pens, hanging out by the dugouts, because England and Denmark will be out very, very shortly for this second World Cup match in their group. Vicky, listening there to Lucy Bronze, she was talking about that familiarity between these two teams. Pernilla Harder talking that she's looking forward to it, as you heard in the press conference, that will make it a better match over the 90 minutes. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, very much so. And I think really on paper, although again, it wasn't about on paper when they played Haiti, who were excellent despite being by far the lowest ranked side in this group. But on paper, this is potentially England's toughest test in Group D. Denmark are ranked 13th in the world. They were runners-up at the Euros in 2017 to Serena Wiegmann's Netherlands, and I think they are a side that didn't get out of the group at the Euros last summer, but were in a very challenging group with Spain and Germany, and particularly against Spain, really ran them close and only conceded a late goal to lose that one late on. So, and in Pernille Harder, they have a player who is one of the best players in the world, and we've got a few to compete with for that title, but she's an outstanding player, and as you say, Jules, from her time at Chelsea, who she left this summer to join Bayern Munich, she knows so many of these England players so well.
Gilly, Pernille Harder, is she just the only key threat that Denmark have and that Denmark will pose and challenge England with?
Well, I think obviously Harder, she's an incredible player. I have bad memories, nightmares, shall I say, about playing against her. So, she'll be a big threat for Denmark today, but also cool as well in the middle. Seen her play a lot for Arsenal this season. She brings energy, she brings the youth side of it, and I think it's not about like specific players, because I think if a team can play well, you're looking at games this whole tournament that sometimes you highlight one player, for example, like Harder, but when you focus so much on her, you sometimes take away from the other players and you don't see other players as threats. But I think with Denmark, they're an organised team, they're disciplined, and I think it'll be a tough test for them today.
Do you think as well, because we heard from the manager Lars Sundergaard in his press conference yesterday describing England as a football superpower, were there mind games there? Because it kind of puts the pressure on England, doesn't it, in this match?
Yeah, well, I think England are favourites to win this game, and I think you get that from, obviously, you won the Euros we won the Euros last year, so we have that title and we have that pressure. I think even if you're looking at a footballing nation, everybody wants to come and play in the WSL. It's such a strong league now. So I think sometimes managers do that. Obviously, KB will know as well, is that they sort of deflect it away from their team to sort of take the pressure off of them, to sort of say, listen, obviously England are the superstars, obviously you're looking at budgets, you're looking at all different things in regards to the league as well. That it sort of takes away from the Denmark players, that there's no pressure on them going into this game today, because the expectant is of England to win.
Yeah, listen, I think actually England love the fact that they are favourites now. I think they've absolutely worked their butts off, to make sure that they get the respect that they deserve. And if you've got, a country's manager saying that they are the team to beat, then I think that will actually bolster England. But I think Denmark are going to be very dangerous. I think obviously, Gilly, like you mentioned, they have Harder and Kuhl as well. But I think Holmgaard is going to be the one that that England really need to be focusing on in terms of stopping the service into her, because she's the one that pulls the strings in this Danish midfield as well.
And Vicky, just a general point on this World Cup so far, on the performances and the results that we've seen, and the stories as well that have come out of these matches, is that have we reached a point, would it be fair to say, where there aren't any easy games in this tournament?
I think it's a really good point, Jules, because we think back to the World Cup in 2019, and particularly the USA-Thailand game, which was such a heavy victory for the USA, and I think this time with the expansion to 32 nations for the first time, people were wondering, are we going to see some group matches that are incredibly uncompetitive? But I think that's absolutely not the case at all. And Haiti are the prime example when it comes to a Lioness's perspective, that they were impressive. Yes, England did not put in a good performance, but Haiti deserves so much credit, and this is going to be a tough test against Denmark.
I should have said, unless you are Germany, of course.
Germany doing very well against Morocco, yes, 6-0 winners. So they are looking good. But still, 6-0 isn't a 13-0. Do you know what I mean? It's obviously it's a huge defeat, but we saw some ridiculous scorelines in France 4 years ago. But it's been a very good tournament so far, and England will hope that they can make it through to the last 16 with a game to spare here.
Well, we can see England, we can see Denmark. The teams are in the tunnel there, making their way out. We did see shots as well of Lauren James and Rachel Daly, who are the changes that Sarina Wiegman has made for this second World Cup game in this group. The England players, by the way, they are going to be wearing black armbands today following the death of Trevor Francis. He died of a heart attack in Marbella this week. Sarina Wiegman asked about Rachel Daly pre-match. She says, we are starting Alessia up front. We know that she has done really well. For us, she has done well as a centre forward. As a left back, today she will start at left back, which we all thought. And about changing the lineup, Vicky, Sarina Wiegman said she wants to play her style of play, and then we want to see what the opponent does. And this is how England want to start the game. The teams are out. Karen Bardsley is alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thanks, Jules. Welcome, everyone. Yes, big call from England's manager, Sarina Wiegman, who got all of the big calls right last summer as England won the European Championship. How will they fare against Denmark here in Sydney? We'll find out on 5 Live after the national anthems. Plenty of support in the stadium for the Lionesses in Sydney once more. And now the national anthem of Denmark.
Please remain standing if you are able for the national anthem of Denmark.
Great noise here in the Sydney Football Stadium as the players prepare to exchange handshakes. And before that, there will be a tribute in the stadium as a picture of the late Trevor Francis comes up on the screens to our left and our right. The former England forward who passed away this week, aged 69. Had a brief spell playing in Australia during his long and illustrious career. Will be very much missed. And as Jules mentioned a couple of moments ago, the England players will be wearing black armbands tonight in memory of him. So the players going through their pre-match handshake and now breaking away into their pre-match huddles. Millie Bright will be wearing the Unite for Indigenous Peoples armband this evening. They are wearing the FIFA armbands throughout the tournament, a different one for each match. They have received 3 welcome to country ceremonies by local Aboriginal communities already during their time here in England. Who will play in the white shirt, the dark blue shorts and the white socks? Denmark all in red, together for their team photo away to our right. So that team news again, if you're just joining us, the big news is that Rachel Daly is back in for the Lionesses at left back. She played every match there as England won the Euros last summer, but she's been in brilliant form for Aston Villa up front this season. She's played so many positions, hasn't she, Karen, throughout her career. We know she can do a job at left back. I guess the question is, and we talked about it a bit in the build-up, her mentality will just be purely professional. You know, she came here as a forward. She's off a brilliant season with Aston Villa. Of course, I'm sure she'd want to be leading the line, but she'll just get her head down and get on with it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Vicky. I mean, listen, Rachel Daly is a team player. She's a professional in how she approaches it. She's a live wire on and off the pitch, so she'll bring loads of energy wherever she goes on the pitch. But she's got that technical ability to, strike a first-time ball into the top corner or go in for, a fantastic sliding challenge, to prevent a goal. So ultimately, I think Serena Wiegmann knew that she could bring Rachel Daly in as a fullback or as a striker, and that she would do an exquisite job. She's got the fitness, she's got the capacity to get up and down the flanks. You never know, we might see them go to a back three, she might move inside, look to continue to create those overloads and support the attack, but ultimately, I feel really good about tonight.
So she is in for Jess Carter, Alex Greenwood moving across to centre half, and the other change sees Chelsea's Lauren James coming in for Manchester City's Lauren Hemp. And again, is that something that you agree with in terms of the change that Serena Wiegmann's made? I know the option is there to play Lauren James in the 10 and have Hemp and Kelly and James on the pitch at the same time, as we saw in the second half against Portugal, but you're not going with that right now, Serena Wiegmann.
No, my initial thoughts was, if I was going to see Lauren James, it'd be great to see her in those central positions, but I wouldn't be surprised if she drifts in from this left-hand side anyway. That is kind of one of her natural tendencies, and to have a striker drift in from the left and shoot with a right foot opens up the goal and makes it really, really difficult for the goalkeeper to take those angles. So I think wherever she is, she's going to provide a massive impact, but will it be different if she starts? We'll see.
So both sets of players taking the knee ahead of kick-off here. It will be Denmark to get us underway under the dark skies in Sydney, kicking from right to left. A reminder that if England win here against Denmark, and if Haiti don't lose to China in Group D's other game later, then England will be through to the last 16 of the Women's World Cup with a game to spare. We'll take you through the full lineups in a moment, but Lucy Bronze under early pressure down England's right-hand side by Madsen, the only Danish change for this match, replacing the Everton midfielder Nicolina Sorensen. England managed to clear over the halfway line, and Alessia Russo won't keep it in, and it will be a Danish throw midway inside their own half. So England with Earps in goal, the back four of Bronze, Bright, Greenwood and Daly. Ahead of them it's Stanway, Walsh and Toon, with Kelly and James supporting Alessia Russo up front. Denmark with the throw over the halfway line they go, playing in all red, as England pick it up once more with Lucy Bronze in the orange boots, easing away from Madsen, not once but twice, closed down by Pernilla Harder, the former Chelsea player. All these Lionesses know her so well from those 3 years in the WSL. But she ended this summer moving to Bayern Munich, and Alex Greenwood has it at centre half, sprays the ball out to the right hand side for England, and Lucy Bronze over the halfway line to Chloe Kelly, cuts in field, moving away from Katrina Weyer. Infield she goes to Ella Toon, feeds Stanway on the edge of the area, cleared away by Denmark. Toon will send it forward. Here is James in the number 10 position just outside the D, plays it out to the left hand side, and Rachel Daly, now Toon. Bright start this from England, out to the left they go once more, and here is Lauren James trying to trick her way into the penalty area. Lovely turn on the edge of the box, plays the ball across, flashes all the way across goal. Lucy Bronze reaches it, but not before it's gone out of play. Denmark goal kick, but already Karen Barsley, we're seeing real attacking intent for England early doors.
You're right, Vicky, it's an absolutely great start, really, really bright from the Lionesses. You can see Rachel Daly taking more advanced positions, really joining into the midfield, pushing on Lauren James to either go outside initially and then to cut back on the right, just around the edge of the area in those central channels in that half space. And then look how well she does to create that space to essentially just lift a lovely little cross into the area. Unfortunately goes out of play.
So Denmark in possession, just inside their own half. They have Lena Christensen in goal, the back four of Rega Saveka, free agent after leaving Everton this summer. Stina Badasea, Simona Boyer, former Arsenal player, and Katrina Weyer, also formerly of Arsenal, currently with Everton. Ahead of them it's Josefina Hasbo, Karen Holmgaard of Everton, and Katrina Kuhl of Arsenal, with Yanni Thompson, Rega Maria Madsen and Pernilla Harder up front, as England are in possession midway through their own half. 3 minutes played, it's goalless.
Yeah, and some really, really nice movement, just down this near side here, looking for Lucy Bronze to get an advance. You see Kira Walsh coming across to connect and link up, and she's there as an option, but Denmark are making it really, really difficult. You can see the purpose of their press is essentially try to isolate her and keep her from getting on the ball.
So Denmark with the throw. Katrina Vaya loses out though to Chloe Kelly, who lifts the ball forward, cleared away at the back by Simona Boyer, and it will be a throw to England. Denmark, incidentally, who also, like England, have the chance to qualify for the last 16 with a game to spare. If they win and China avoid defeat against Haiti later, then Denmark are through to the knockout stages as Lucy Bronze picks it up outside the penalty area. The red shirts of Denmark force back the white shirts of England. And Millie Bright will pick it up once more. Fitz again to start after playing 90 minutes in the opener against Haiti, her first competitive action since March after recovering from that knee injury. Here is Lauren James on the halfway line, steers it back to Alex Greenwood, and now in field to Kira Walsh. Sprays the ball over the top, looking for the run of Chloe Kelly. There's Vaya there with her. Kelly trying to get the better of Vaya, who stands up very well, the Danish fullback, and should be able to clear up towards halfway. Millie Bright is there, powerful header away. England lose out though, and Denmark will pick it up on the halfway line. First touch for Pernille Harder, their captain and record goal scorer, but Lucy Bronze gets the foot in, steers the ball out of play for a Denmark throw.
That's really well done from Denmark's Vaya, their left-sided fullback, in terms of getting the ball across, getting her body across Chloe Kelly, really trying to slow down the play. You know that in this wide channel, Chloe Kelly loves a 1v1. She loves trying to take a defender on and deliver those crosses.
So here is Vaya, long throw, headed away by Millie Bright and helped on by Lucy Bronze once more. Cleared forward by Denmark over the head of Bronze, and Bright will bring the ball down, closed down by Arsenal's Katrina Kuhl. And under pressure, Bright clears out of play for a throw to Denmark, midway inside the England half, goalless.
Denmark are really alert to those back passes. You can see when Millie Bright was facing her own goal, Mary Earps was asking for it, but you can see that Pernille Harder and Madsen, the Danish number 17, was starting to creep towards and trying to anticipate that pass back to goal.
So Vaya with the throw to the edge of the area, played across first time by Madsen, but only straight to the orange booted feet of Lauren James, who turns in a circle on the halfway line and will play it back to Alex Greenwood. We spoke a lot in the build-up, Karen, about what Rachel Daly will bring at left back. What does moving Alex Greenwood to centre half do for this England side?
Yeah, I mean, Alex Greenwood's passing range is exquisite.
England pick the ball up on the edge of the penalty area. Stanway trying to squeeze it through to Toon in the centre. Denmark get the foot in, but Daly has it. Plays it forward to Lauren James. Let's fly from the edge of the area. Oh, what a goal! What a goal from Lauren James! That is absolutely outstanding! A rocket to put England ahead against Denmark, and Serena Wiegmann's changes have paid off. Denmark trail early on against the Lionesses, and it is just beautiful from James.
Oh my goodness, it's a fantastic strike from Lauren James. She picks up the ball off the Rachel Daly into a lovely half space, penetrates to the edge of the area and opens up the goal with that right foot and curls it right into the corner beyond the outstretched arms of the Danish goalkeeper Christensen. What a fantastic strike. I mean, that is her bread and butter, Vicky.
It's a wonderful strike from James, and Christensen on the stretch can't get her fingertips to it. Her first major tournament for England, her first start after coming on as a substitute last match against Haiti. And Karen, in the build-up to this on 5 Live, we spoke about what players could bring a bit of sparkle, a bit of stardust to this tournament. Lauren James, she was mentioned, and that is exactly why. Denmark's ball into the area. Mary Earps just claims on her goal line. It's a cross that's one of those that can sometimes catch a goalkeeper out, but not often a goalkeeper like Mary Earps. Although we have seen it on occasion domestically for Manchester United this season. I remember the game against Brighton at Leigh Sports Village. However, she watched that one perfectly.
Yeah, that was a Beth Mead special, wasn't it? She loved it. Was it a shot? Cross?
The crot, yes. I think that's Beth Mead's trademark.
Yeah, but what a fantastic start for England here.
Leading by a 1-0. A Lauren James stunner. Millie Bright's in possession on the halfway line as the ball goes back to Alex Greenwood, and the perfect start for Serena Wiegmann and the Lionesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think going back to your initial question before it all went a bit nuts, Alex Greenwood adds an element of penetration, I think, from the back in terms of build-up. She'll move forward, connect to the midfield, whether it's on the dribble or whether it's the short pass or a long pass into the box.
Little 1-2, James picks it up 30 yards out, square to Lucy Bronze. Central position, plays it back to James once more, who looks so sharp as Daly whips the ball in from that left back position, and it bounces behind for an England corner. Well remembered about that, Alex Greenwood, by the way. That had completely been driven out of my head by the beauty of that Lauren James strike.
Yeah, I can't imagine why, but yeah. I mean, she's a fantastically versatile player. I mean, like I said, she has excellent execution of her pass. Like, I used to watch her at training, and she used to just love zipping them along the grass. We used to call them worm burners, you know. And the way it kind of, you would receive it, it would just send you on your way.
Well, she's over there on the far side. Greenwood ready to take this corner kick. England leading by a 0-0 against Denmark as Kelly comes short and receives it. Two red shirts go with her. Little 1-2 for Kelly, back to Alex Greenwood, plays it forward, not quite on the same wavelength, but Kelly does get down to the byline and win another corner. Let's bring Gilly Flaherty in on that Lauren James goal. Gilly.
Oh, what an incredible goal. And that's why I say, I know obviously she's set up potentially on the right wing, but that is exactly why I say Lauren James needs to play in the 10. When she's got that freedom roll, sitting in the pocket, and she's able to pick the ball up like she does, incredible finish.
Corner is in from England. Lucy Bronze heads it on, and it's flicked up towards the goal. Overhead attempt down there by Chloe Kelly. Well, she's certainly capable of scoring a special goal, but that one flies over the top of the bar. But England could not have started this match better, Karen Bardsley.
No, that was a bit ambitious, I think, from Chloe Kelly. I mean, everyone loves a overhead kick, don't they? But no, it's been a great start to this game for England. They're moving the ball really, really quickly. They look so much more confident in the positions that they're taking up, especially, you know, just picking up the half spaces off the back of the Danish back four for Alessia Russo. The energy that Lauren James has injected into this game from the off has been great to see.
Here is Alex Greenwood just outside the England penalty area, sends it back to Mary Earps, all in bright yellow. 10 minutes gone, and thanks to a Lauren James stunner, the Lionesses lead in Sydney. Lovely backheel pass by Chloe Kelly, won't quite reach Lucy Bronze. Katrina Vaya does well, and then doesn't do so well, loses it. Bronze, back to Kelly, right-hand side. England with all the momentum at the moment as Kelly fizzes the ball into the area. Cleared away up towards halfway by Balasea, and will be picked up by Denmark over on this left-hand side. Denmark, who were runners-up at the Euros in 2017, losing to Serena Wiegman's Netherlands. They're ranked 13th in the world to England's 4th. And arguably the toughest test that England may well face in this group, but it's been all England so far. A reminder, if they win here and Haiti avoid defeat to China later, England will be through to the last 16 of the Women's World Cup with a game to spare. The ball is cleared away by Madsen. Greenwood takes charge, wins it on the halfway line. They just look so up for it, don't they, Karen?
Absolutely, and that right there is the difference, where Alex Greenwood has stepped into the midfield, up the back of a Danish attacker trying to receive the ball with her back to goal, and she's prevented the play turning and going forward. She's forced it back and forced Denmark.
Alatoon might latch onto this inside the penalty area. Good ball by Rachel Daly. Balasea, the Danish centre-half, is there with her. Pull back to the edge of the area, and Lauren James will pick it up on the left-hand side. Cuts in field, whips the ball in. Russo's in there, cleared away by Simona Boyer. Will come back out to Lauren James once more. Denmark can't get out of their penalty area at the moment as Rachel Daly plays it forward once more to England's goal scorer, Lauren James. Forward now to Alatoon, left-hand side of the penalty area. Back to James once more. They're running the show. She's running the show, Lauren James, as Rachel Daly picks it up and plays it in field to Lucy Bronze, who's drifted into a central midfield position from that right back berth. Out to Lauren James once more. England stretching the play as James down to the byline, dinks the ball across, gets blocks on the way through, and it will be another England corner. They're utterly dominant at the moment. It's good defending though by Rega Saveka.
It's really, really fluid from England. You can see Ella Toon drifting out to go and support Lauren James when she's on that far side, trying to create 2v1s where she can, but then centrally in the area, Alessia Russo is trying to occupy the centre backs to create more space for her teammates back stick as well.
Both hands in the air from Alex Greenwood. Swings it in left-footed to the edge of the 6-yard box. The header is back across goal from Millie Bright. Denmark gets a head on it as well and send it out of the penalty area, and Kira Walsh will pick it up just inside the centre circle. Reminder, you can watch this game live on BBC One. You can join Robin Cameron and Rachel Brown-Finnis for commentary there. Or if you'd like to, you can stay with us with our commentary. Press the red button. You can do the same on the iPlayer and you'll get the pictures and the 5 Live commentary. 2 excellent options, we feel, for you, for your watching and listening selection here on the BBC. Forwards by Alex Greenwood, out to the left-hand side, and Lauren James once again cutting in field. She's so dangerous when she does that. Pulls the ball back to Kira Walsh, and now Rachel Daly once more. Denmark can't get a foot on the ball. This is a great start by England, and as they go back to halfway, do you think they were stung? Would they have been stung by the criticism that their performance against Haiti received?
Here's the thing, I think they knew it wasn't good enough themselves. They didn't have to wait for anyone to tell them. You know, I think you could hear from the things that were coming out post-match. So we're just building up outside the area, and I'm conscious that I don't want to talk over you because I feel like it could transition at any point here.
Anything could happen, seriously. England are coming forward, looking so dangerous every single time. So I'll take over. Thanks, Karen. Ball into the area. Won't reach Lucy Bronze, but she will pick it up as it spins out of the box on this right-hand side. And it's cleared out of play for a throw to England. To the edge of the area they go. Chloe Kelly loses out. Bronze is there, though. They're picking up all the second balls as Ella Toon plays it to Stanway. Now Bronze, right-hand side, swings the ball in. It's over the head of Russo, flicked away by Saveka before James can get there, and cleared long downfield by Yanni Thompson for Denmark. But they're so deep. Pernille Harder is so isolated up front for Denmark as the ball goes out of play for an England throw deep in Danish territory. England who lead by 1-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Yeah, they're really struggling, the Danish, to kind of clear their lines. I mean, the pressure from England is just incessant, you know, and I think that's the beauty of having an attacking-minded player in defence like Rachel Daly. She's so happy to get forward and to join in and sustain the attacks, and that's something that we didn't really see a lot of against Haiti.
Pernille Harder fouled midway inside her own half, and Denmark will have a free kick. Denmark, who do not even have a toehold in this game in terms of the balance of play at the moment. England leading by 1-0 here in Sydney. As Denmark play the ball over the halfway line, but we know that Pernille Harder is always dangerous. We know that Denmark, yes, they didn't get out of the group at the Euros last summer, which England won, lifting their first major trophy, of course, on that glorious night at Wembley. They were in a very tough group, Denmark. They had Germany, finished runners-up to England, Spain, who England's just got past in extra time in the quarterfinals. It's Lucy Bronze, one of those Euro heroines, picks it up on this right-hand side. She's challenged by Rega Maria Madsen. Ball goes out of play for an England throw.
It's interesting, I think, what I'm seeing down this near side with Lucy Bronze. I think she got caught in possession a lot against Haiti. And I think at times you see her hanging on to the ball a little bit. You know, does she have her mind made up before she receives it? But the thing about Lucy is, like, she's got the athleticism to go and penetrate on some mazy runs and create something out of nothing. But there have been a few times in the previous games where I've seen her caught out in possession. But, you know, the addition to Alex Greenwood coming centrally provides a lot more defensive stability for England, and it's nice to see it allows the fullbacks to join in more freely.
World Cup bronze medal winner Karen Bardsley here with us on 5 Live, live from Sydney, where the Lionesses lead Denmark by 1-0 in this second Women's World Cup match. Victory here, and Haiti avoiding defeat against China later, which we will have updates from on 5 Live. Would see England through to the last 16 of the Women's World Cup with a game to spare. Here is Millie Brights in possession, plays it to Alex Greenwood, and it's interesting, in possession it's almost turning into a 3 at the back, isn't it? Rachel Daly is getting so far forward, and then you've got Chloe Kelly on this right hand side. There's a bit of fluidity here about the Lionesses formation.
There really is. It's so versatile, this 4-4-3, 4-3-3 as well. Can turn into, you know, additional in through the midfield, and you've got overloads all over the pitch. You know, defensive stability as well. So yeah, it's so fluid from this Lioness side.
Yeah, Lucy Bronze is centre forward at the moment from the right back position. She's been central midfield, centre forward, but they are really getting forward at every opportunity, not sitting back on this 1-0 lead at all, as Simona Boyer defends well against Alessia Russo, just eases the England striker off the ball, and it's behind for a Denmark goal kick.
I mean, Vicky, there's so much fluidity, as you rightly say, you know, in terms of interchanging positions. You know, Lucy Bronze going infield, allowing Chloe Kelly to come out, so you can see that England are trying to pin Denmark's fullbacks to really stretch the width across the back line, which opens up space for Alessia Russo or Ella Thun to drive in through centrally. So there's a plethora of choices at the minute.
So Lena Christensen, the Danish number 1, who's already been beaten once this evening in Sydney, clears long over the halfway line. England leading by a goal to nil. Millie Bright will send it all the way back to Mary Earps, who has had very little to do. 81% possession for England so far, and that is pretty remarkable as the ball goes out of does go out of play. I preempted Lucy Bronze not being able to keep that in, but in the end she's not able to, and it will be a Danish throw midway through the England half. And Denmark haven't got anywhere near the England penalty area yet.
No, they haven't. But, here's me waxing lyrical about Alex Greenwood's pass, and just puts it a little bit behind Lucy Bronze.
Katrina Vaya into the feet of Pernilla Harder, but the touch took it away from her and won't find Yanni Thompson, who was lurking just on the edge of the D. And Rachel Daly will play the ball back to Alex Greenwood, who squares it to Millie Bright, the captain. No Leah Williamson, of course, who lifted that European Championship trophy under the Wembley arch last summer. She's missing with an ACL injury, as is Beth Mead, the Golden Boot winner and player of the tournament. No Fran Kirby either. The likes of Jill Scott and Ellen White, the Lionesses' record goal scorer, have retired. But still, the bulk of this side, the bulk of this squad were the Lionesses that claimed European glory in England last summer, as Alessia Russo plays it forward to Ella Thun, who flicks it on to Lauren James, edge of the penalty area. James might go for goal again, does so this time. It's straight into the arms of Lena Christensen.
It's exciting, it really is. Every time Lauren James gets on the ball, you think, she's probably going to cut inside. It's well flicked on here by Ella Thun, out to Lauren James, picks it up to the edge of the area, dribbles inside, and again cuts centrally to try and open up the goal.
England pick up the ball on the halfway line with Kira Walsh, and here goes Ella Thun once more, driving through the Danish half, feeds Georgia Stanway, space for Chloe Kelly on this right hand side. Once again, England stretching the play as Kelly holds up possession just outside the area. First time delivery from Lucy Bronze, and James was there and met it, and again it's straight at Lena Christensen. But there were the white shirts there to cause the red shirts of Denmark real problems, and if James had connected with that cleanly, it would have been her second and England's second.
And it's savvy from Lucy Bronze. She recognises there's a run into the area, hits a nice early first time delivery, and it's unfortunate. Lauren James was on the correct side, just got ahead of her Danish defender, but couldn't quite make the right connection.
So England in possession, just outside their own penalty area. Sydney Football Stadium has filled up nicely. They were expecting around 40,000, holds about 45,000 for the Women's World Cup, and I don't think we're far off that, as England have the ball just inside the Danish half. Nice little 1-2, cleared away up towards halfway. Lucy Bronze gets her head to it, and Chloe Kelly will dink it forward. Stanway in space, turns, pulls it across to Thun, turns, edge of the D, takes the shot. Christensen's right behind it. We are here at the Sydney Football Stadium, next to the famous Sydney Cricket Ground. And that reminds me that Test Match Special is on air from 10 a.m. on 5 Sports Extra. They will start by looking back at the first day's play before looking ahead to day 2 of the 5th and final test at the Oval, and there will be ball-by-ball coverage throughout the day on 5 Sports Extra. England's at the Women's World Cup here in Sydney, lead by a goal to nil against Denmark midway through the first half here on 5 Live. A reminder, you can watch this match on BBC One. If you'd like to, you can sync up with our commentary as well. Just press the red button or do that via BBC iPlayer, as Daly plays it out to the left-hand side and Lauren James sends it back to Daly. England looking supremely confident, Karen Bardsley.
They really are. They look very comfortable. They seem to have a great relationship at this moment in time. It's been really fun to watch the build-up, because obviously England are going to want to build through Kira Walsh in this defensive holding midfield position, and it's allowing Georgia Stanway to get higher up the pitch, but you can see that Denmark know this and they're looking to double team Kira Walsh.
Ball forward by Chloe Kelly. Stanway will chase, good defending by Simona Boyer, gets across well, the former Arsenal centre half, and clears away. But at the moment it's all Denmark can do to clear their lines, and Pernilla Harder, their captain, their record goal scorer, on halfway, just clapping her hands together trying to encourage her teammates, but they're really under the cosh here from England, and that's the thing, from Serena Wiegmann's perspective, from Lionesses fans listening to us perspective, they're very much on top, England. Oh, they'd love to get the second goal, important that they do so.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been loads of chances, Vicky, you're absolutely right, you know, in terms of the domination that we're seeing from this England side, but we know just, you know, in tournament football it can change at the drop of a hat.
And possession has changed, picked up by Katrina Vaya. Out to the right hand side she goes as Denmark advance, defending for Rachel Daly to do. Plays the ball into the area, lovely turn, oh, just wide. That was better from Denmark. Rega Maria Madsen with the shot, flashing across goal. And Mary Earps with a bit of a sigh of relief, because there you go, Karen, as we say, anything can happen in tournament football, and Denmark are a decent side. It's a lovely turn from Madsen. Earps narrowed the angle well, and the shots on the angle flashes wide from the Danish attacker.
And this is what we discuss about being tidy in possession. We could see Rachel Daly was again looking for Keira Walsh. It was just a bit of a loose pass into midfield, and it's so dangerous with how compact Denmark are in these central areas. And yeah, I think we really dodged a bullet there, because that was a fantastic spin and a strike from Madsen, the Danish attacker.
Alessia Russo in possession on halfway, goes down under pressure from the aforementioned Madsen, who concedes the free kick. She plays her domestic football for North Carolina Courage, currently top of the NWSL. Keep an eye out if she does score. We'll describe it for you, of course, here on 5 Live, but she celebrates with backflips, does a Sam Kerr. Madsen, that's her chosen goal celebration. Just the want she's netted for Denmark, though, that all the way back in November 2019. As the ball goes out to the left-hand side, and Rachel Daly. England leading by a goal to nil. Daly's ball in, headed away by Simona Boyer. Denmark get another contact on the edge of the penalty area, but it's a nervy clearance that goes out of play eventually from Denmark for a throw to England deep in Danish territory. England 1, Denmark 0 at the Women's World Cup here on 5 Live.
And again, that ball into the area from Rachel Daly is exactly why she's such a pivotal component in this squad. You know, yeah, okay, she can, you know, hit an absolute worldie from the edge of the area, but the balls that she delivers into the box are stunning.
England have given the ball away, and Alex Greenwood can't get there. And they could be in here with Yanni Thompson. Denmark held up on the edge of the area, still going, drives over the bar, but the danger is growing from the Danes. Mary Earps happy to watch that one over, but that's Denmark's best 2 chances of this match, and they've come in the last couple of minutes.
That's right, again, caught out in transition, just losing possession, and England really need to get a foothold back into how determined they were and how tactically sound and structurally sound they were behind the ball in possession. I think just let's not get carried away, you know, and yes, things are going well. Yes, we're 1-0 up, but it's the small things, the good little habits to continue to do. That's kind of what makes up a good performance, isn't it, Vicky?
Absolutely. England in possession, play the ball all the way back to Mary Earps. I feel like I should apologise, Karen, because I feel that as soon as I said they're on top, they need to get the second goal, it's been all Denmark. But what can Lauren James do here? Down the left-hand side, England's goal scorer, a stunner from just outside the area. Her first goal at her first major tournament for her country. She holds up play on the left-hand side. It's all the way back with Rachel Daly. Plays it in field to Keira Walsh. Well closed down by Katrina Kuhl of Arsenal. England spin the ball out once more to Lauren James. Leading by a goal to nil here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And James does well to retain possession. Georgia Stanway will send it back to Greenwood on the halfway line. Forward once more to Stanway, who sprays the pass out to the left-hand side, and Daly. Forward again. Mattoon is the option. Lauren James will pick it up, edge of the area, swings the ball across the box, comes to Lucy Bronze, right-hand side of the penalty area. Good interception though by Denmark, who steal it on the edge of the D, and Pernilla Harder's on the shoulder. Can they find her? Yes, they can. Good play by the Everton midfielder Karen Holmgaard, who's continued her run into the box as Harder advances into the area as well, drives the shot in. Mary Earps is right behind it. England lead by a goal to nil.
And it's a very, very tidy collection from Mary Earps, but again, it's a picked off pass from Lucy Bronze in Denmark's own half, and it's a great, great progressive run, and is well played out into these wide areas for Pernilla Harder to cut inside. Millie Bright does very, very well to kind of delay enough to allow some support for England, and makes it ultimately a comfortable save at the end for Mary Earps.
Up against her former Chelsea teammate, of course, Millie Bright. Pernilla Harder, a player she's faced so many times in training. As Alex Greenwood plays it forward to Ella Toone. Interchanges passes. Keep an eye on the performance of Toone. She's not had the best season with Manchester United, and he's a player that I'm sure will want to really put in a good showing to stake her claim to stay in that starting lineup, with the option of Hemp and Kelly and James, as we saw in the second half against Portugal, also available to Serena Wiegman. And here is Chloe Kelly, goes down in the centre circle, wins the free kick. England 1, Denmark 0.
I think what we're seeing a little bit is the tempo of how quickly the ball has changed from side to side. Kind of slow a little bit more. It's taken a little bit longer in terms of, you know, staying on the ball, maybe taking an extra touch here and there. You can see what England are trying to do in terms of shift this Danish side. They're taking up more central positions now, not shifting as quickly, and I think they're wise to the fact that England are trying to stretch out their back line and the spaces aren't appearing as much for Alessia Russo and Ella Toone.
England in possession in the centre circle. 5 Live, your home of the Women's World Cup, will be with you throughout the tournament. Live coverage from Australia of every England match. So join us next for that on Tuesday morning, where England take on China in Adelaide. Grab yourself a cuppa, grab yourself your favourite breakfast, and sit back and relax as the Lionesses look to progress through the tournament here in Australia. And New Zealand as well, they're co-hosting, but the Lionesses will play all of their matches in Australia. They've won a corner, they lead by a goal to 0. And Chloe Kelly, the heroine at Wembley, of course, scoring that extra time winner against Germany in the European Championship final last summer, is over this. Both arms in the air, that pink headband on her blonde head. She seeks the options in the penalty area, swings it in high, again it's long. Lucy Bronze with the header, bounces on the roof of the net, but they're always looking for Bronze, aren't they? Whether it's from the left with Greenwood or the right with Kelly, Lucy Bronze is peeling off the back line at the back post, back across goal. That time she went for goal, just over the bar.
I mean, Lucy Bronze is one heck of a competitor. She loves winning, so that's going to include those 1v1 battles as well. So the likelihood of her creating some really high opportunities are definitely up there. We've seen her do it before. I remember back in 2015, 2017, 2019. She's a great player in the air.
Denmark win the set piece just inside their own half. Karen Holmgaard, the Everton midfielder, drawing the foul. England leading by the goal to 0. A reminder that a victory here, coupled with Haiti avoiding defeat against China in Group D's other match later, will be enough to see the Lionesses through to the knockout stages at the Women's World Cup with a game to spare. But Denmark have come back into this game. They were really under the cosh for the first 20 minutes. Lauren James with the only goal so far. Denmark looking to do something from this set piece. Players lined up about 25 yards out of the area, and the delivery goes all the way through, watched behind by Alex Greenwood. Mary Earps will have a goal kick to take for England.
That's well left by the England back line and the England goalkeeper. It's a lovely high starting position from England. I felt very confident that nothing was going to come from that, just from the initial approach to how they were going to defend. It was deep for the Danish, and it didn't look like it was going to be particularly threatening unless it was some kind of mistake or a second phase kind of opportunity.
England in possession on the halfway line. James back to Rachel Daly. I suppose it's about seeing the combinations as well. Now we have Daly at left back. Now that Lauren James is starting over on that left hand side, those are the two changes for England from their win over Haiti. What sort of connections can they develop? And same with Chloe Kelly and Lucy Bronze down this right hand side that we saw in the first game as James slides the ball into the area, won't be reached by Ella Toone, cleared away by Denmark, out for an England throw. England who lead by a goal to 0.
And you're absolutely right, Vicky. You mentioned the relationships that they're starting to build. You can see again Rachel Daly getting in advanced positions when Ella Toone vacates the space centrally and goes out wide. Lauren James comes centrally, and there's so many options on the ball.
Hasmo loses out midway through the Danish half, and Lauren James, England's goal scorer, has it once more. All the way back to the halfway line they go, England. Alex Greenwood quickly closed down by Harder, but lovely turn from Kira Walsh under pressure from Katrina Kuhl of Arsenal. But Walsh dealt with that so well. Now here is Millie Bright, England's captain for this tournament. Sprays the ball out to the left-hand side, and her Chelsea teammate Lauren James, beautiful control, just sticks to her feet like glue, the ball, Lauren James, when she's on form. Pulls it back to Rachel Daly, who plays the ball into the area. Bronze is up there once again, tangling with Via. Ball goes behind for a Danish goal kick, but notable, Lucy Bronze is getting so far forward at every opportunity.
Absolutely, and getting great service from that opposite flank from Rachel Daly, and that's the joy of having someone that's able to kind of spray in balls like that. The versatility of the range of pass and delivery from Rachel Daly is fantastic. You know, when you're Denmark, you don't really know in terms of what sort of balls you're going to be facing, you know, so is your positioning going to change? It kind of puts you on edge, so you're not really sure where your starting position should be.
Poor goal kick from Lina Christensen, straight out of play for a throw to England just inside the Danish half. Another bumper weekend of sport coming up for you on 5 Live. As ever, we've got the Belgian Grand Prix, the Netball World Cup, the World Swimming Championships, racing from Ascot as well, and of course coverage of the Ashes as it continues, both on 5 Live and ball-by-ball coverage on 5 Sports Extra. Denmark intercept the ball just outside their own penalty area. Here is Katrina Via, driving run over the halfway line, looking to get back on level terms before the break. Sliding interception by Kira Walsh, who has gone down with a problem here. Katrina Kuhl of Arsenal is continuing to play. Denmark aren't happy here because our referee, Tess Olofsson of Sweden, has stopped play, but Kira Walsh has clearly got an issue here, and she's making that sign saying this is it, I'm going to have to come off here. What a frustration. Oh please, she's holding her knee, and it looks as though she feels, in her opinion, she won't be able to continue, and she looks very distressed here, Kira Walsh, and what a blow this would be. She's clearly in pain, the medical staff are on. Let us hope that this is not another serious injury, but you know your own body. She feels she can't continue. Let's see what the medical staff say.
I mean, listen, Vicky, in years past, when you sustain something kind of awkward and you've not experienced it before, I think sometimes it can really frighten you into thinking that you're injured. I have to be honest though, in the run of play, those innocuous injuries tend to be kind of bad. You know, so she grabs her knee straight away, but hopefully she'll be okay. But I mean, let's think about the impact, the wider impact that, you know, we've seen from Lauren James. You know, she's come on, made a huge change in terms of where she's picking up the ball in space. You know, her movement is really fantastic in terms of losing the defender, and then she turns and goes forward and looks to distribute. So I'm so happy to see, you know, that she's been able to get that start, but the instant impact she's made as well.
And it's her goal that's the difference here in Sydney. Got continued concern over Kira Walsh. The stretcher is on. Let's bring in Gilly Flaherty, who's watching this back in the UK. Gilly.
I think it's gutting. I mean, I'm looking now at the pictures of Kira Walsh. She's visibly upset. You dread to think, is it the 3-letter word that we don't like saying? But I think if you're looking at it, when you watch the replay back, she's obviously sliding. It seems like the front of her studs get caught in the ground, and straight away, obviously, she knows that it's something that she's not experienced before, or it's obviously a severe pain. So obviously, you see on the stretcher and that it's gutting, and you're just praying and keeping everything crossed that it's not what we think it might be.
She's on the stretcher, as Gilly says, Kira Walsh. She's going to be carried from the field of play. No Leah Williamson here at the World Cup because of an ACL. No Beth Mead here at the World Cup because of an ACL, and that's just for England. There are so many, and Miedema for the Netherlands, there are so many missing. We don't know what it is. We don't have that confirmation, and as Gilly says, we just hope that it is not another ACL for one of the Lionesses. Kira Walsh is being stretchered from the pitch here in Sydney. She has her shirt over her face, her hands now on her head. And Serena Wiegmann, her manager, comes out to the stretcher and has a word with her player, as does Laura Coombs, who will be the player to replace Kira Walsh. And we'll talk more in a moment about what this means for her, because this is a hugely special moment for Laura Coombs. But Karen, just some reflections there on that injury to Kira Walsh and how devastating that is for the player and for England as a whole, for a team, because she is so crucial to what England do.
I think literally, Vicky, as soon as I was just about to say what a game she's having in terms of being able to create space for herself to get on the ball. She's dropping a shoulder and being able to shift the two players that Denmark have on her, like that's not easy to do, and she's phenomenal at doing that. And when she went to Barcelona, I think that added a new level to her game as well. So listen, these are going to be big shoes to fill, but England have experienced some games without her, and we saw Katie Zellum in the past drop into that holding midfield role. Obviously we see Laura Coombs in there now, who is a very stick to like simple principles type of player. She'll get the ball and distribute, but there's a versatility now between Georgia Stanway and Laura Coombs. They can switch positions, they'll be fluid. We can even see Alex Greenwood step in alongside into the midfield to add that element of stability, so we'll be fine.
England with a throw over on the far side, 7 minutes plus added time to play. They lead by 1-0. And our very best wishes go with Kira Walsh. We of course will bring you any updates as soon as we have them here on 5 Live. Millie Bright in possession, plays it out to the right hand side. Lucy Bronze won't keep it in. So Laura Coombs, 32 years of age, at her first major tournament, makes her major tournament debut for England. She made her first Lionesses appearance in 7.5 years back in February against South Korea. She's had a great season with Manchester City. She's earned that national recall. She's here at her first major competition with her country, and now she comes on to play what will be a huge role in the rest of this game, and we'll see about the rest of the tournament as well, depending on the news that we get on Kira Walsh. But England leading by 1-0 against Denmark, and it's one of these, Karen, as players with 6 minutes or so to go until half time, mentally you've got to stay focused, because nobody wants to see a teammate stretch it off like that.
No, exactly. I think frankly everyone in the stadium knows kind of the potential impact that seeing Kira Walsh getting stretchered off could have on England's performance. But I think, listen, this team is so close. Like, as unfortunate as it is, they'll want to make sure that they get something out of this game for Kira and for the players back home and everyone that England are representing tonight. So yeah, it's really off-putting. It's really difficult to kind of refocus, but fortunately, hopefully the girls will just keep it simple, get to halftime and be able to regroup in a sense.
They lead by 1-0. Alex Greenwood has run a throw deep in England territory. Interesting here that Georgia Stanway has slotted into where Kira Walsh is playing in defensive midfield. Coombs and Tuna playing a little bit further up. There's Rachel Daly dispossessed on England's left-hand side, and the ball into the area. The early shot from Pernilla Harder. She dragged it right across the 6-yard box, and it spins out to where Lucy Bronze will clear. That is a let-off for England, and a player of Harder's ability. She just snatched at it, didn't she, Denmark's record goal scorer?
Yeah, I'm really surprised, to be honest, Vicky, that she didn't capitalise on that, because you could see there was a gaping hole in that central midfield space that Laura Coombs had just vacated. And there was real danger there for the England backline, but fortunately it didn't come off for Denmark.
England 1, Denmark 0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. A reminder, you can watch this match over on BBC One. If you'd like to, you can sync up the pictures by pressing the red button or choosing the option to watch with our commentary on BBC iPlayer. Ball is all the way back with Nina Christensen, the Danish goalkeeper, who clears up towards halfway. We'll have reaction all throughout the Women's World Cup every day for you on the Football Daily, which you can download from BBC Sounds, as Pernilla Harder goes down, high boot to the face, and Denmark win the free kick just inside their own half.
No. I don't. I hate to say it, but yeah, Georgia Stanway comes in, tries to clear the ball, and just absolutely whacks the ball off Pernilla Harder's face. I'm really sorry, but that was pretty funny.
Yes, it's almost one of those Michi Batshuayi ones where he fires it off the post and it hits his own face. But that time it was Georgia Stanway doesn't catch Harder with the boot. It is the ball that hits her in the face. And so we play on with Harder back up to her feet and with a wry smile on her face as well. England in possession. Here is Laura Coombs. Nice turn just inside the Danish half. Gets it back from Alessia Russo, who's been relatively quiet so far. As Coombs goes down, is fouled by Katrina Kuhl, the Arsenal midfielder. It will be a free kick to England, a third of the way inside the Danish half. The referee not happy with How quickly Georgia Stanway took that, or whether the ball was moving, didn't seem to be too much wrong with that. So Stanway takes it again, goes left this time instead of right, and finds Daly. James leaves it, two won't latch onto it, but Denmark have given the ball away. Here is Daly once more. England 1, Denmark 0 at the Women's World Cup here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Katrina Vajat heads the ball out of play. Lucy Bronze will take this throw for England midway through the Danish half. Back to Millie Bright on the halfway line. As Alex Greenwood as an option and uses her. So yes, Football Daily available on BBC Sounds, and while you're there, check out Jill Scott's Coffee Club as well. Latest episodes, what a guest to have. The England manager, Serena Wiegman, sitting down with Jill. Download the BBC Sounds app, search for the Football Daily or Jill Scott's Coffee Club, or both if you'd like to. Hit subscribe.
This is fascinating stuff, Vix. You can see Georgia Stanway's picked up a more central but slightly left back position as Rachel Daly has gone and advanced, and Lauren James has come in that central area again. They're really looking for those overloads in those half spaces.
And they're really covering the spaces, aren't they, as well, as Chloe Kelly swings the ball into the area. It's over the head of Russo, and Rega Saveka will clear up towards halfway for Denmark. Rachel Daly is there, bringing the ball down under a bit of pressure, just was waiting for the bump in the back from Yanni Thompson. Got it! And England get the free kick. They lead by a goal to nil.
This is good. This is good management from England. I think, listen, the tempo is slowed. They understand, that they've had a difficult situation. They're trying to solve the problems by managing and trying to control the game through the possession. So they're just moving the block, shifting it, probing for those spaces to appear, and making sure that every movement forward is essentially a high-quality option.
Lucy Bronze with the ball forward. Laura Coombs fell over. It was cleared into her by Simona Boyer, and Denmark do come away with the ricochet. Here is the Everton midfielder Karen Holmgaard out to the right-hand side, and Saveka field now to Balisea, who goes all the way back to Lena Christensen, all in green. The Danish goalkeeper out to the left-hand side come Denmark, but still penned in their own half, trailing England by a goal to nil. But Vaja's going on another one of those runs over the halfway line, goes the left back forward. She goes to Madsen, who's had a decent opening, skewed it wide in this first half. Madsen's delivery, Harder was in there. She's committed the foul just inside the England penalty area. Rachel Daly's down, whistle's gone, England free kick.
That's really, really brave defending there from Rachel Daly. She sees a potential threat, and she goes and attacks it just like she would do if she was in the other area, really. She's determined to absolutely go and win that header, and is rightly so fouled by Pernilla Harder, who just essentially runs into her with an elbow or a body into the back.
Well, Millie Bright is helping Rachel Daly to her feet as we enter 4 minutes of added time. I can't work out the added time here. They add on so much in most games, but 4 minutes. We've had Kira Walsh stretch it off, which took ages. We've had the goal. We know they add on time for the goal celebrations as well, and there were some because it was a cracker from Lauren James. She had the substitution as well, Laura Coombs. We've got 4 minutes at a time. Anyway, there we go. 4 minutes for England to see out this first half, leading by a goal to nil against Denmark. A win coupled with Haiti avoiding defeat against China later in Group D would see England through to the last 16 with a game to spare. They have the ball on the left-hand side. In field they go to Georgia Stanway. Plays it forward to Alessia Russo, dropping deep to receive possession. Under pressure, good pressure from Balisea, the centre-half who went with her. So she plays it back to Alex Greenwood, and there's the distribution that England were missing from centre-half that Leah Williamson offers. She's not here, the injured England captain, but Greenwood can spray the ball just as well from that sort of area. Lucy Bronze, right-hand side of the box, pulls it across, cleared away by Boyer inside her own 6-yard box. And Katrina Vaj's off and away once again, cuts the ball in field. Brought down by Madsen. Lucy Bronze gets a toe in. Chloe Kelly does as well. Madsen does well there, under real pressure to bring the ball away for Denmark. Here is Katrina Kuhl of Arsenal. Plays the ball over the top, looking for Thompson, who's beaten in the air initially by Greenwood, who then heads it into Georgia Stanway. Stanway then goes down under pressure from Josefina Hasbo. And it will be a free kick to England, but that's one of those, that's fine margins there, Karen. Good pressure from Hasbo, and Stanway getting the decision. If she hadn't, Hasbo might have been able to send Denmark away there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Vicky. I mean, Georgia Stanway does well to get her body across and protect the ball, but yeah, I mean, in other situations, in other games that we've seen so far in this tournament, that might not have been called as a foul.
90 seconds to play in this first half here on 5 Live. England 1, Denmark 0 at the Women's World Cup. But the key talking point, other than the beauty of the Lauren James goal, that injury to Keira Walsh. Stretch it off. As Lucy Bronze brings it forward. Here is Georgia Stanway, sees James in space, but James was just on her heels there and the ball spins past her and out for a Danish throw. And having scored such a beautiful goal, Karen, she's been quiet also in the last 15 minutes, Lauren James, but you know that she always has that quality to burst into life again.
Yeah, you can see, I think that the build-up has kind of changed in terms of, the areas that she's receiving it. We're starting to see a little bit more joy down this near-hand side with the likes of Lucy Bronze getting forward and that big switch from Alex Greenwood or Rachel Daly. But like you said, the option from Lauren James is always there because she finds beautiful pockets of space in between 2, 3, 4 players at times.
On the halfway line is Alex Greenwood. In field now to Millie Bright. She did say before this tournament, Lauren James, that she doesn't want to be known as Reece James's little sister. I think we can just know her for the beauty of that goal and the quality that she's shown in this match, as Kelly does well, wins a free kick down by the corner flag, and Lucy Bronze picks up the ball, and England will have a set piece deep in added time at the end of this first half. Can they double their lead going into the break against Denmark?
And again, it's very, very good wing play down this near-hand side. We could, side triangles all over the pitch, well, in the wide areas anyway. But yeah, a bit, would you say, sloppy defending, a bit, too aggressive, and then a bit of a push in the back, and Chloe Kelly knows how to ride those anyway, so a great opportunity on goal here.
And it is Kelly from this free kick, wide on the right-hand side, swings it in again. They look for Bronze at the corner of the 6-yard box on the far side, but that time Denmark were wise to it. 3 red shirts went up with Lucy Bronze. She couldn't win the header, and it's out of play for a Denmark throw deep in their own territory. Played the minimum 4 minutes added on. We're into 5 now. Maybe the referee agrees that maybe we should have had a bit more added time. England leading by a goal to 0 as James blocks that, and it spins nicely to Russo, who brings it down nicely down by the corner flag. James is there as an option. Russo trying to work room to get the crossing. Good defending by Balasea. Concedes the throw, but stood up well there. And there is the half-time whistle. A half that largely has been very, very positive for England. Lauren James with the only goal. 6 minutes in. Beautiful curler from just outside the penalty area, past the despairing dive of Lena Christensen. Certainly a deserved lead for England, but as those players go in, Karen, I'm sure the thoughts will turn to Keira Walsh. Stretch it off with what looks like a knee injury, and as Gilly Flaherty back in the UK said, we just hope that it's not another ACL.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the girls will be very concerned, but they know they have a job to do, and they're going to do it for Keira Walsh.
So half-time here at the Sydney Football Stadium. England 1, Denmark 0.
Vicky, thank you. Gilly Flaherty watching this game in London for us as well, part of our team here, albeit she is based in England and we are in Sydney. But Gilly, it was going so brilliantly well, and it still was going well, but that injury to Keira Walsh in the 38th minute towards the end of this first half is the major big talking point.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about the game, obviously it's a great start from England. It was a brilliant start. They started brightly. Denmark couldn't physically get out of their box. Obviously Lauren James scores a cracker of a goal, and England look alive. And then obviously you're seeing then that Denmark started to come into the game, but come into the game through England's turnovers. They was a bit sloppy in possession, and that's when obviously Denmark looked dangerous. He's on the counter attack, and then obviously Keira Walsh's injury. I think obviously I'm back at home, so I'm able to see replays of it on the screen and that, and straight away, as soon as the camera goes on her, she signals to the bench and she said, it's my knee. So I think she knows it's pretty serious just by her reaction, but like I said, you feel sick at the thought of thinking that it potentially could be another ACL.
And Karen, we saw here in Sydney, albeit on television you could see her reaction, but straight away she signalled, and as she was being stretchered off towards the tunnel, Serena Wiegmann went over to her. She had her eyes covered, but she was clearly emotional, Keira Walsh.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, listen, I've played with her for years at Manchester City, and I think there were times when, she picked something up, like an injury, and wasn't sure like how serious it was, and it was really scary, and obviously it's going to be a really emotional kind of time, but that to me looked different. I think when something doesn't feel right, and she's close friends with Leah, obviously, and they will have had that conversation, and she will have seen it numerous times. So listen, my thoughts go out to her and her family, and I really, really hope it's just not what we think it might be.
If you want to get involved, you could even tell us what you're having for brunch as you're watching this match and listening to it here on 5 Live Sport. It's at 5 Live Sport, or you can text 85058. England leading Denmark by 1-0. We will talk about that Lauren James goal, but obviously the injury to Keira Walsh towards the end of this first half has kind of taken over things. Jack, though, has been in touch. England now missing their 3 most influential players from the Euros in Walsh, Williamson and Mead. It's a big ask, Jack says, to win the World Cup now. Another one, Keira Walsh is not only the best and most important player for the Lionesses, but she's also one of the best footballers in the world. Her impact is unrivaled. She is truly a midfield magician and is so key for England. This injury is brutal on so many levels. Just minutes after Lauren James's goal, what a goal. We're going to talk about this. What a goal was trending. It was trending in the UK. Lauren James, of course, the Lionesses' second youngest goal scorer at a Women's World Cup. She's 21 years old, but for the record books, 21 years, 302 days today, behind only Jill Scott against Argentina, Karen Bardsley, in 2007. And Simon saying, can't get a better feeling for a football manager. You bring 2 new players into the team and they combine to create a goal after 6 minutes.
Yeah, it really was just so fun. I mean, the way the Lionesses started, it looked like everyone was just bursting with confidence. Everyone knew exactly what the game plan was, where players were going to be before they were there, where the spaces were going to emerge. And I think, frankly, like Denmark looked really, really shocked. They couldn't handle how quickly the ball speed was, how quickly they were being stretched in all various areas across the pitch. And, to see Lauren James in particular pick that ball up and travel centrally and watch the goals. Oh, the goal just opens up. And as a goalkeeper, I mean, you're thinking, I can handle an angle, no problem. But then suddenly it feels like a really big ask. And she loves shaping the ball, Lauren James, and it just bent beautifully past the outstretched hands of the Danish goalkeeper.
Well, those Haiti vibes and those nerves, nowhere to be seen here in this first half, where England lead Denmark in Sydney by 1-0. So England are leading Denmark at half-time by 1-0. They just showed replays of Lauren James's absolute stunner. She scored in the 6th minute. The downside of that is that Keira Walsh was stretchered off in the 38th minute, late on in the first half. The England substitutes, they're training out on the pitch. As it stands, we're waiting for the players to come out. So while we do that, the Lionesses, they are out on the pitch. They are in a team huddle. The Danish players are out too. England leading 1-0 as we go into the second half with Karen Bardsley alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thanks very much, Jules. So, England 45 minutes away from doing their bit to try and qualify for the last 16 with a game to spare. If they beat Denmark here in Sydney and Haiti avoid defeat against China in Group D's other match later, a game of which we will have updates here for you on 5 Live, then England are through to the knockout stages. We await news on Keira Walsh stretching off with that knee injury in the first half. But Lauren James's goal inside the opening 6 minutes, a stunner from just outside the area, the difference between these sides. And as England prepare to get us underway, Karen Bardsley, what will Sarina Wiegman want to see from her side in this second half?
I think Sarina Wiegman is going to want to see more of what she saw, obviously, in the first, or would you say 20, 30 minutes of this game. It's going to be a bit more difficult, obviously, now where arguably their orchestrator is no longer on the pitch, with Keira Walsh getting stretchered off. But listen, there's plenty of other opportunities to build up and get forward. I think we'll see a lot more wide play, but ultimately I think Sarina Wiegman's going to want to see more domination of this game through possession and control.
Yes, that's something she spoke about in the pre-match press conference yesterday here in Sydney. And as Karen says, England certainly did that in the first 20 minutes or so, but Denmark came back into the match and had a couple of half chances. Mary Earp's yet to be called into serious action, and it's England coming forward. Simona Boyer clearing that cross away with Rousseau lurking. It's an early corner for England, which will be taken over on that right-hand side by Chloe Kelly.
I think England are really going to have to capitalise on their set pieces. You know, I think to kind of put some of the anxiety that's kind of floating in this stadium around this game right now, obviously a goal would really, really settle everyone down, but I'd like to see more conversion from England.
So both arms in the air from Chloe Kelly, drives it into the edge of the 6-yard box. They didn't go for Lucy Bronn this time, and it creates a bit of havoc in the Danish defence. Eventually, Stina Balasea clears the ball out for another England corner, which will be taken from this left-hand side this time.
I do see, like, just from watching the body language in, you know, the first few minutes here in this second half, like, England do feel confident. They do look like they know exactly what it is that they need to do. And they look really, really dangerous from these set pieces.
England's 6th corner of the match. Alex Greenwood swings it in. Rousseau's in there, so is Bronze. Heads it down, and it's poked over the bar from 10 yards. Big opportunity as Bronze won the initial header. And the bodies were coming in, but they can't keep it down. And they can't convert. Denmark just about doing enough. It's a snapshot from Ella Thun, who was leaning backwards and sends it over the bar.
Again, I'm sure there will be plenty more opportunities to come, but Denmark really taking their time and build up here.
The England chants echoing around Sydney Football Stadium. Red and white all around us, although of course those are the colours of the Danish flag as well. But we can certainly see many England flags lined up along the bottom of the stand, away to our left and our right as well. Got a Germany flag there as well. Of course, people in Sydney coming to watch all sorts of Women's World Cup matches, not just their own teams, but if you're in town, why not get a ticket and come along, is certainly the attitude. And you do sense that Australia and New Zealand are very much embracing this tournament as a Mexican wave ripples around beneath us. In the lower tier, Stina Balasea plays a free kick forward for Denmark, headed away by Alex Greenwood on the edge of the England penalty area. England leading by a goal to nil here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Chloe Kelly picks it up. Very good work on the halfway line. She's got Rousseau to her right. Kelly still going, lays it off to Rousseau, lifts it to the left-hand side where Lauren James is, but it's a poor delivery from Rousseau and it's straight out of play, and the chance is gone for England, who still lead by the goal to nil.
Oh, and Chloe Kelly is progressing the ball centrally, and it's a 3v2 in England's favour, and I think she just plays the ball out to the right-hand side, that far side, and it's just behind Alessia Rousseau. And I think, personally for me, with the game that Lauren James has had, the option was on the left.
Yes, it eventually went out that way, but poor ball as Lucy Bronze swings the delivery into the area over the head of Ella Thun and bounces behind for a Denmark goal kick. Lucy Bronze, who was making her 15th Women's World Cup appearance, which was her joint 3rd on the list of World Cup appearances for England, alongside yourself, Karen and Steph Houghton.
Gosh. Well, I mean, when you said that initially, I was thinking, that doesn't sound like that many, but then I realised, actually, that doesn't come around every year, does it?
Very true, indeed.
But no, interesting again here with this this goal kick that we're seeing from Denmark. They're choosing to spread the pitch really, really wide, and they're obviously pinning the fullbacks for England in terms of creating some space in the midfield for their fullbacks to get on the ball, which they managed to do.
And here they come down the left-hand side with Katrina Weyer, who does really like to get forward. Tries the crossfield pass, but Rachel Daly reads it from that left-back position. Daly starting at left-back today, one of 2 changes that Serena Wiegmann's made. Daly, who played there all throughout the Euros last summer as England won their first major tournament. But is the WSL's Golden Boot winner for Aston Villa this season, playing, of course, as a striker, not at left-back, as the ball is all the way through with Mary Earps. Do you think now we will see this back line for the rest of the tournament from Wiegmann?
Ooh, that's a good question, Vicky. Initial thoughts are Alex Greenwood will certainly be at that left side centre back position. I think we might see something different that you mentioned earlier that we hadn't seen from Serena Wiegmann in terms of taking the opposition into account about whether or not Rachel Daly plays in this left back position. But yeah, I do think this is certainly working for England at the minute.
And they lead by a goal to nil, 5 minutes gone in this second half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Oh, miscontrol by Millie Bright, and Madsen was almost in. What a brilliant sliding challenge by Alex Greenwood to deny Madsen a clear run at goal, and Mary Earps. That is potentially a goal-saving tackle, and good job she was at centre half there as the ball goes out of play for an England throw. They've shot down the other end deep in Danish territory.
You're absolutely right, Vicky. I mean, that was a game-changing tackle for sure.
Ella Toon picks it up, right-hand side, infield to Lucy Bronze, swings it in, headed away by Simona Boyer, comes back out to Georgia Stanway, who fizzes the ball out to the right-hand side, and Chloe Kelly, back to Toon. Kelly receives it once more, steps past Via like she isn't there, plays the ball in, poor delivery, cleared away by Josefina Hasbo for Denmark, but England pick it up once more, playing in the white shirts, the dark blue shorts and the white socks, from right to left in this second half in Sydney. Denmark all in red. And Millie Bright, who might still be breathing a sigh of relief, has it on halfway.
Yeah, I think she just took the pace out of that back pass, and maybe, I think she knew that Madsen was there, but I just don't think she realised that how soft the pass was. But what I keep looking at here is, we're obviously seeing Lucy Bronze on the far side with Chloe Kelly, trying to create 2v1 situations. Chloe Kelly loves getting around the fullback and delivering, but what I'm seeing centrally is that Alessia Russo is maybe too early to arrive in the area, as for Ella Toon, as for Lauren James.
Millie Bright wins the header, almost falls to Yanni Thompson. England get the foot in, Hasbo and Saveka between them, work it out to Thompson once more on the right hand side, hard to see the centre, currently offside, getting back onside. Thompson's ball in, Katrina Cool's there, and the little toe poke is gathered by Mary Earps, but she had so much space, the Arsenal midfielder, inside that England penalty area. That's a warning for England, who still lead by a 0-0.
Oh, it was a warning indeed. I think really good wing play down this near side. I think the recovery run from Laura Coombs was there. Alex Greenwood was there framing the goal as well to kind of give Mary Earps an angle to work with. But fortunately for England, it wasn't well executed.
So Denmark in possession just outside their own penalty area. England with Earps in goal, the back four of Bronze, Bright, Greenwood and Daly. Ahead of them it's Stanway, Toon and Coombs now, who's come on for Kira Walsh, who, if you're just joining us on 5 Live, was stretched off with a knee injury in the first half. We await news on the severity of that. We deeply, deeply hope it's not another ACL for England, who of course are missing Beth Mead and their captain Leah Williamson for this tournament with that injury. Chloe Kelly, Alessia Russo and Lauren James, the goal scorer, complete the forward line as the ball is over the top, won't be kept in by Thompson. It goes out of play for an England throw. Denmark with Christensen in goal, the back four of Saveka, Balasaya, Boyer and Via. Ahead of them it's Hasbo, Hongard and Kuhl, with Thompson, Madsen and Pernilla Harder, their record goal scorer, the former Chelsea player, one of the best players in the world, up front. And she has had a couple of half chances, one in particular that she skewed wide, took it early, scuffed the shot that really should have tested Mary Earps but didn't do so. Denmark coming forwards once more down this right hand side. Good work by the Everton midfielder Holmgaard. Thompson misses out though, but Cool, the Arsenal player, almost picks it up, well defended by Rachel Daly, and then Lauren James goes down and intelligently wins that free kick there for England.
Again, another perfect example of why Rachel Daly just slots in perfectly at that left back position. She's so calm and comfortable in the ball in really tight spaces, so to have a ball playing defender just really gives that stability. It allows England to counter-attack as well really, really quickly.
So England in possession just outside their own penalty area, leading by a 0-0. All the reaction throughout the Women's World Cup, you can find that on the Football Daily. Head to BBC Sounds and download that podcast, and while you're there, check out Jill Scott's Coffee Club, interview with Serena Wiegman, the Lionesses manager, to enjoy there. Go to BBC Sounds, download the app, search for either or both podcasts and click subscribe as Christensen nervily clears away at the back for Denmark. Saveka plays it straight to Georgia Stanway. Ella Toon won't latch onto it. Balasaya clears away. Lucy Bronze takes charge in the centre circle and is driving forward now. Bronze to Russo, just outside the penalty area. Plays it out to the left-hand side, and Lauren James, couple of step-overs. Get cheers from the crowd, and Hasbo there is eventually going to have to concede the corner, and that's good play by Lauren James. Hasbo looked as though she'd eased in front of the Chelsea attacker and managed to shield the ball out for a goal kick, but James didn't give it up, played it back into Hasbo, and it's a corner kick to England.
It's such a cheeky little nutmeg from Lauren James in that edge of the area here on this near side. She's so quick with her feet and she's so well balanced that Světlana had no chance.
So, Greenwood with this corner for England, who lead by a goal to nil here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Greenwood swings it in, it's headed down. England are appealing for a foul there, but the corner is given. And I think in the end that is what they were appealing for rather than the penalty. So more pressure at the Danish far post yields another set piece for England. Over on that far side, Chloe Kelly walks to the quadrant and prepares to take.
Again, for me, it's about the delivery here, the consistency of delivery, but the first phase, in terms of the first contact, we need to be really, really lively to the knockdowns as well in the area, because there's certainly numbers there for England.
Right arm raised in the air from Chloe Kelly. Drifts the ball in, it's headed away by Balasea, and Katrina Kuhl with a miscue clearance trying to help it on, just sends it straight out for another England corner. Can they make this set piece count, Karen Barton?
Well, I certainly hope so, but I think the opportunity might lie in a short corner. We haven't seen one yet, but there's so many numbers in the area. It would be really, really helpful. Lauren James on the edge of the area here to kind of create some space and draw some of those numbers out.
So far they're not utilising that option as Greenwood drifts it in. Bronze arriving with the header, sends it wide, and that was certainly only one thing on the mind of Lucy Bronze, and she stayed down here. Pernilla Harder was there, she spotted the danger. Harder, she went across to block Bronze, who is getting back up to her feet. That's the last thing England need, another injury, having seen Kira Walsh stretch it off in the first half. But she came in like a train there, Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, she actually did. I mean, what a unit, right? No, but Pernilla Harder is really clever. She knows she's not going to win the header, so she does anything she can with her body to kind of put the trajectory of Lucy Bronze off, and she managed to do it that time. But what a ball in from Alex Greenwood.
Yeah, they really do have several set-piece specialists in this side. England and on the bench as well. Katie Zellem, the Manchester United captain. As the ball goes out of play, it will be a throw to Denmark, deep inside their own territory. England leading by a goal to nil. 12 minutes gone in this second half. We will have commentary live from Australia of every single Lionesses match at this Women's World Cup for you on 5 Live. Do make us your breakfast stop, as it were. Get your favourite beverage, get your favourite breakfast, and come and join us on the mornings. The next match is on Tuesday morning, live from Adelaide against China. But England could qualify for the last 16 with a game to spare if they win here, as they are doing in Sydney, and if Haiti don't lose to China in Group D's other match later today. We'll have updates from that game for you on 5 Live. And a reminder, our coverage of the Ashes continues over on 5 Sports Extra, ball-by-ball coverage of the second day of the final test at the Oval. Cleared away by Denmark over the halfway line. They've won a free kick. The Swedish referee Tess Olofsson has called play back, so they have a set piece midway through their own half, which Boyer will take out to the left hand side. It's sloppy from Denmark, it's straight out of play, and there's frustration here. I wonder if we've got a Danish journalist sitting down to our right, because somebody threw their arms up in the air in our media tribune in frustration. It was poor and wasted really from Denmark, who need to find a way to get back into this game.
They do. Yeah, at the minute, they're quite happy sitting in a block trying to force play out wide, which Alex Greenwood happily takes the opportunity to. But my question to you, Vicky, is we're heading towards 60 minutes. We're used to seeing the substitution about now, aren't we? My question is, with a 21-year-old who's absolutely set this game alight so far, who is going to be the next player to come on that makes that impact if necessary?
Well, that is a good question, Karen, as England pick it up on halfway. And you have to say, they're playing well at the moment, England, and you wonder whether, we saw Serena Wiegmann, didn't we, methodically, religiously almost, make substitutions, the same ones at a very similar time throughout the Euros. She got that momentum going. I just wonder, having changed the starting lineup, whether actually that's the momentum she'll focus on today, and let's leave the substitution conundrum for another time, because they're playing well at the moment, England. And as the ball goes out of play for an England throw deep in Danish territory, looking at it, I'm not sure who I'd take off, because all players in their different way are having an impact on this game.
I completely agree. I wasn't suggesting that there was a substitution needing to be made at all, but yeah, that did just kind of crop into my head, because the pace has been good, the intensity has been good. Is it tenable?
Alessia Russo, lovely turn inside the area, but the second touch just took her wide. She has kept it in though, tried to feed it back. Well, the referee says she didn't keep it in. The assistant over on the far side didn't raise her flag, but the referee, with her view, said no, that had gone out. Have to say, from our vantage point high up here in the stands at the Sydney Football Stadium, did look like it might just have spun out of play, but it's one of those, it's the curve of the ball, all of that's got to be behind the line, but in the end England didn't latch on to Russo keeping that in, and it will be a goal kick to Denmark.
Well, it's great to see, just the impact that Rachel Daly and Alex Greenwood have had on the game so far. They've been involved in so much down this left-hand side, and I think obviously Lauren James is one key element to that as well.
England pick up possession just inside their own half, leading by a goal to nil here on 5 Live. A reminder, you can watch this match live on BBC One. If you would like to, you can listen with our commentary as well. Just press the red button or find that option on BBC iPlayer as Lauren James goes down now just outside the penalty area. Free kick's gone the other way. James has been penalised for diving there. She's not going to get a yellow card, it looks like, from our Swedish referee Tess Olofsson. Denmark have the set piece though. What do we reckon, Karen Bardsley?
I mean, where is she supposed to go? I mean, frankly, listen, the thing that I love about Lauren James, she's brave to take people on. She finds the space, picks the ball up, plays a lovely ball into Ella Thun, who I think maybe could have taken an extra touch to kind of delay the run a little bit, but as Lauren James continues, she just absolutely flattens the Danish defender.
Yeah, I have to say it wasn't for a dive, it was for the challenge on Karen Holmgaard. That's turning into a little battle there. They've had a couple of words, or I should say Holmgaard's had a couple of words with Lauren James, of course players that know each other from the WSL. Holmgaard playing for Everton and James playing for Chelsea. As the ball is all the way back with Millie Bridle, that's a loose back pass, and Marriott's had to be quick there as Pernilla Harder was closing down. But there you go, just an instance there, Karen, of how England can't afford to switch off, because Harder just takes up those positions. She knows exactly where the danger she can create will come from if there's a mistake, and England had half a mistake there, and Earps was alert.
You're right, it's about managing those moments. You can feel the momentum shifting a little bit as Laura Coombs, a bit of a loose pass there that was picked up by Pernilla Harder.
Lauren James will clear away from that Danish throw, but England now, the white shirts are deep, and Balazea can send it all the way back to Lena Christensen. Big weekend of sport as ever coming up for you on 5 Live. Across the next couple of days, we've got the Belgian Grand Prix, we've got the Netball World Cup, World Swimming Championships, racing from Ascot as well, and of course continued coverage of the Ashes, both on 5 Live, and ball-by-ball coverage each day on 5 Sports Extras. Lucy Bronze plays the ball to Laura Coombs. Major tournament debut at the age of 32, but in circumstances that England wouldn't have wanted, and we include Coombs in that because she will be concerned for her teammate Kira Walsh. Stretch it off in the first half with a knee injury as the ball goes out of play. At the moment has been good performance from England, particularly in the first 20 minutes of the first half. Stunning goal from Lauren James, that's still the difference. More even in this second half, but still largely keeping Denmark at bay. But that injury to Kira Walsh, Karen, is the real blot on this match so far for England, and potentially going forward in this campaign if it looks to be serious, and we very much hope it's not, but we'll stretch it off, we await news.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, prayers and thoughts go out to her and her family. Really, really hope it's not as bad as it looked. But in terms of the situation that Laura Coombs now finds herself in, she's held her own. There's been a really nice fluid rotation between Ella Thun and Laura Coombs, with Georgia Stanway kind of anchoring in that holding midfield position.
Yep, Stanway definitely sitting more defensively than she was when Walsh was on the pitch. Of course, Walsh playing that defensive midfield as Via, with the free kick on the halfway line for Denmark, swings it to the edge of the area. Harder heads it on, little push in the back there on Rachel Daly, and the free kick goes against Denmark, and Rachel Daly has her arms spread out, and Janni Thompson, in frustration, simply has to walk away. England 1, Denmark 0.
Yeah, that has to be something out of frustration there. You can see her leaning into it, knowing that she's not going to get beyond Rachel Daly, and you just take one for the team there, Rach. And again, is this Denmark's attempt to kind of really put England off their game a little bit? There's a physical challenge. Will it take them away from their game plan? I don't think so.
Laura Coombs dispossessed just outside the centre circle. Denmark will try and come forward once more. Here is Arsenal's Katrina Kuhl. Simona Boyer, the former Arsenal player, plays it out to that left-hand side, and Pernille Harder, and off she goes. Starting run, she's stopped just by Lucy Bronze inside the England penalty area. Out to the left-hand side, Denmark go again. Bronze gets the block and it's a corner. Do you know what that reminds me of? That fabulous goal that she scored against Manchester United, Harder, when she ran just from the halfway line for Chelsea, darting past about 5 players, pulling the trigger. She had it in her legs there again, and Bronze did well.
It's nuts, isn't it, when you think about, actually, she spent a majority of last season out injured with Chelsea, didn't she? And the impact that she had for Chelsea when she was back fit, you know. I think it was assisting Sam Kerr in the FA Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5 months out she had with a hamstring injury, but as you say, brilliant record after coming back. 11 goals in 15 appearances. I mean, quite remarkable. So first corner for Denmark of the game. It's swung into the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Greenwood, picked up by Madsen, who plays it out to the left-hand side, picked up by Holmgaard, who took it off the toes of a teammate rather, and plays it back to Katrina Via. England 1, Denmark 0, live from Australia here in Sydney. The Women's World Cup on 5 Live. England clear the ball out of play, but we said before this match that Denmark would be a test for England. England have been very impressive, but it's not a surprise, Karen, that Denmark, ranked 13th in the world to England's 4th, are going to have spells like this as they play the ball into the area. Millie Bright all alone can thumpingly head the ball away, and clearance will be half completed by Georgia Stanway, who swings it out to this left-hand side. Lauren James loses out to Madsen though, and Madsen has it, plays it to Saveku, plays it off James. Denmark throw midway through England's half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Vicky. I think the spaces are starting to appear now for England a little bit in terms of do they have the ability and the legs to continue to go and pressure in that same high intensity way that they have been from the start. Look, Denmark want to play that possession style football, don't they? They're used to building through the thirds. They've got really crafty wingers and central midfield players as well, so they'll provide real good tests for England in terms of, you know, how England choose to defend, etc. But the thing that I'm seeing here tonight is majority of the chances that Denmark are having are from just losses of possession from England.
They've lost the ball again. Poor ball by Millie Bright, and Pernille Harder picks it up. Lucy Bronze, though, will read that pass and very calmly deals with that down the right hand side and plays it past Harder as well, teasingly so, as if to say, just stick a boot out, Pernille. She wasn't able to. England have lost it again though on the halfway line. Less dangerous position, but Madsen will pick it up now as Harder drifts into the centre. Lucy Bronze with defending to do once more. Coombs is back to help out for England as the red shirts of Denmark begin to set up camp outside the England penalty area. Midway through the second half here on 5 Live. England 1, Denmark 0 at the Women's World Cup here in Sydney. A reminder, an England victory coupled with Haiti avoiding defeat to China in Group D's other match later will see the Lionesses through to the last 16 with a game to spare. So they're holding their end of the bargain up at the moment. They've won the ball back. They have it just outside their own penalty area as Millie Bright squares it to her centre-half partner Alex Greenwood. Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, I mean, just continually intrigued by kind of what's going on in the midfield and especially in these wide areas as well. I mean, you can see Lucy Bronze getting forward at times, and then Rachel Daly is holding, you know, in terms of covering and balancing for when Lucy Bronze has gone forward. You can see that early in the game there's real aggression in terms of bombing on from both fullbacks, and we're just not seeing that anymore. So I'm wondering if England aren't as confident going forward at the minute.
Might have a bit of confidence here though. Well won by Stanway. Kelly to the edge of the box. Toon won't reach it. Good sliding challenge, intercepts it before Toon can latch onto it. England have it once more though, and Rachel Daly goes all the way back to Alex Greenwood as Denmark prepare to make their first substitution of the match. And it is Amalie Vangsgaard, who was their heroine against China. She came on the 85th minute, scored the winner on the 89th minute, looping header that really the Chinese goalkeeper should have done better with, but earned Denmark the 3 points. She's looking to be the heroine once again as Rachel Daly plays it back to Alex Greenwood.
I think this is the lesson for all the kids out there coming from a goalkeeper. Get across the line of sight and you never know what's going to happen.
Day 2 is underway at the Oval. Ball-by-ball commentary of the Ashes is over on 5 Sports Extra. And we will have coverage throughout the 5th and final test for you on 5 Sports Extra and 5 Live today and across the weekend. So here comes this first change for Denmark, and it is Josefina Hasbo who will make way. Here is Amalie Vangsgaard looking to get on the score sheets off the bench once again. She plays for Paris Saint-Germain, who were runners-up in the French top flight this season. What a way it was, indeed, for her to get her first goal for Denmark as well at her first major tournament. On for your debut 4 minutes later, first goal for your country. You get the 3 points as well.
Yeah, and along with that substitution comes a little note that gets taken out to Madsen, who slyly tucks it away. But I imagine we'll see some structural changes quite shortly as Alessia Russo's in.
Yes, England come forward. Russo bursting towards the penalty area, still going. Russo pulls the trigger and fires wide. Close from Russo, who's been quiet, but that was a chance. Still just the goal advantage for England.
And it's well read. She reads the bounce really, really well over the Danish defender's shoulder. And yeah, she has a real intention about how she progresses into the box, but that shot unfortunately just goes a bit wide.
Now, she enjoyed her best goal-scoring season of her career this season with Manchester United. Alessia Russo left, of course, for Arsenal this summer. It's Lauren James, whose goal remains the difference, scored inside 6 minutes. What a goal it was. And it is why England lead by a goal to nil as Chloe Kelly picks it up on the right-hand side. Russo waits in the centre of the penalty area, but England go all the way back to the halfway line. Ellie Bright has it in the centre circle. Our reporter Katie Smith, who's here with us in Sydney, has spotted Kira Walsh back on the England bench on crutches. And we just hope for good news. She was stretchered off in the first half, if you're just joining us, with a knee injury. It didn't look good. We very much hope that the news is not as bad as we fear. But she's back out on the bench, and we will bring you any updates as soon as we get them on Walsh's condition here on BBC Radio 5 Live. England leading by a goal to nil, but Denmark are enjoying a decent spell of possession at the moment, but still yet to really test Mary Earps in the England goal. Can they do so here? Out to the left-hand side they go. Holmgaard will play it out to the left as the ball is swung in, and Earps had to watch it all the way and tip it away. It was dipping underneath the crossbar, and Mary Earps staying alert there as she has to do. Corner to Denmark. A speculative effort from Katrina Vaya, but it's one of those we talked about in the first half, isn't it, Karen? The cross shot, and Earps watched it all the way and poured it away with a big hand.
That's right, regardless of the intent, it was on target, wasn't it? And a backpedaling Mary Earps, she moves her feet really, really well to extend and get that big hand to make sure that that ball doesn't just float into the top corner. So really, really well dealt with, and yeah, fantastic goalkeeper from Mary Earps. Very solid.
So Vaya is over to this near side, preparing to take the corner. Our referee, Tess Olofsson, is making her way towards an absolutely jam-packed 6-yard box. There's 5 players, plus goalkeeper Lena Christensen, outside it at the moment. Every other red and white shirt, bar Vaya, who's taking the corner, is inside that 6-yard box. Mary Earps is so crowded in there, a lone yellow figure, as Vaya swings the ball in, and it's onto the roof of the net. Well, she almost did a Katie McCabe, didn't she, for the Republic of Ireland, scoring directly from a corner, but couldn't do so, and it's onto the roof of Earps' net.
Yeah, Mary Earps dealt with that really, really well. I mean, listen, when there's loads of bodies in the area, you don't want to get focused on the battle. You want to focus on what's happening in front of you and pay attention to the flight of the ball. Don't get distracted from anything else.
But they're pressing higher, Denmark, as Bronze clears away from Madsen, and that formation change, Vansgaard's gone up top, and Pernille Harder, who had been playing as the number 9 for Denmark, has just dropped into that 10, which is a more similar position to where we saw her play for Chelsea. I mean, she's so versatile. She has played up top for them, out wide as well, but she can dictate the game from that attacking midfield position. And
yeah, definitely looks like a 4-1-4-1 formation. And I mean, Pernille Harder is a fantastic player. She links up really, really well, and I think that will be her role going forward.
So Millie Bright in possession, substitutions being prepared by both sides. Bethany England and Lauren Hemp are preparing to come on for the Lionesses. What a moment this will be for Bethany England in particular, as Lauren James has it on the left-hand side. Rachel Daly will play it forward, looking for the run of Ella Toon, who under pressure won't be able to win that corner kick. It's good defending by Arsenal's Katarina Kuhl, but Bethany England, well, that's been another hot topic amongst Lionesses fans as well. went to the Euros, was part of the squad that won it but didn't feature. Hasn't featured yet at this World Cup, but she's about to come on for her major tournament debut as the attendance of 40,439. That is a near sellout here at Sydney Football Stadium. Packed house, and here come the changes. So the first for England sees Alessia Russo make way. Ella Toone is coming off as well, and Lauren Hemp and Bethany England, who was in such brilliant form for Tottenham after joining them in January. 13 goals in 14 games. She gave Serena Wiegmann no choice but to put her in the World Cup squad, and now she makes her major tournament debut. Karen Barton.
It's an exciting opportunity for Bethany England, isn't it? I've been waiting to see this opportunity for her. I mean, I think she's a fantastic player. She's just got a nose for goal. Like she's like a poacher in a sense. She always makes something happen with her work rate, with the way she presses. But you know, she left Chelsea, wasn't getting a lot of playing time, and took a gamble, went to a new club, and then got loads of minutes, and it made it so difficult for Serena Wiegmann not to pick her. But we're seeing Lauren James obviously move into that 10 role, aren't we?
Well, they're having some issues with the substitution board here, but we can tell you, thanks to the announcements in the stadium, that Madsen and Balisea have come off for Sorensen and Turusen. So 2 changes for Denmark, 2 changes for the Lionesses. Let's bring in Gilly Flaherty on that Bethany England substitution. Gilly.
I'm sitting here on my own, clapping my hands, because I'm thinking it's about time that she's come on. I think she offers something completely different as well. And then obviously with Lauren James now going in with the 10, with Tooney coming out, hopefully we'll see a bit of link-up play between them two as well. But I'm delighted for Beth.
Thanks very much, Gilly. And I'm sure many Lionesses fans listening to us on BBC Radio 5 Live will be delighted as well. I mean, they are blessed with an embarrassment of riches, really, going forward. But particularly, as Millie Bright plays the ball forward, here goes Bethany England, bounces off the back of Simona Boyer, the Danish defender, so she doesn't get to run in on goal. But if Rachel Daly's going to play at left back, then England really, obviously Daly could move further forward, but if we stick with this as the back line, then it's 2 players competing for that forward line position, Bethany England and Alessia Russo. And we talked about the substitution. She brought that up, Karen. Maybe this will now be the regular substitution that we saw Russo on for White in the Euros. We'll see England on for Russo at the World Cup.
Yeah, it's certainly a little bit different than what we saw at the summer, but so was the situation that Serena Wiegmann finds herself in, you know, with this England side in terms of injuries, etc. But this looks like it could be a potential solution. I'm certainly excited to see what's going to happen in the next few moments.
So, England leading by a goal to nil, 12 minutes to play here at the Women's World Cup in Sydney. A reminder, you can watch the end of this game on BBC One as well. If you'd like to sync it up with our commentary, just choose the option via the red button or via the BBC iPlayer. Lucy Bronze with the throw over on the far side. So, the Danish manager Lars Sundergaard will be hoping that his changes will make an impact as well. Nicolina Sorensen, the Everton player, and Inter Milan's Frederica Turusen. Denmark need a goal. Not out of it yet, of course, in Group D. They won their opener late on against China. But England know if they hold on for this victory, it would be their second 1-0 win of the World Cup, another 3 points. If Haiti don't lose to China later, we have to say China again are the favourites for that match, but after we saw what Haiti did against England, you wouldn't bet against them. If Haiti don't lose later, England will be through to the knockout stages with a game to spare. Play stopped here because Yanni Thompson has gone down, and given what's happened in this match, Karen, given that we've seen Kira Walsh stretch it off with that knee injury in the first half, given that England have led since the 6th minute, given that the performance largely has been very much improved from the Haiti match, would you expect Serena Wiegmann and the Lionesses to now just try and see this one out? This feels to me more like the Austria game, the opener at the Euros, perhaps than Haiti did, where England largely are in control. They're keeping Denmark at bay. I don't think they did have the control against Haiti, but is this more like what we saw at Old Trafford, you and I?
Wow, I mean, it seems like so long ago now, but yeah, there was so much possession, I think, in that game against Austria. But in my opinion, I feel like the Haiti game was probably more in the sense that it was on tenterhooks the entire time. This, I feel like England are far more in control and more. They look more like scoring.
So, Thompson is back up to her feet. England have a throw, and let's head for an update from the cricket. Ellie Oldroyd.
10 minutes gone here, Vicky, and Australia haven't added to their overnight score yet. They're still 61 for 1, still 222 behind. Mark Wood and Jimmy Anderson, though, opening up this morning for England, have come so close to beating to getting an outside edge through to Johnny Bairstow or to the slips. But so far, Australia are surviving difficult conditions, 61 for 1.
Thank you very much, Ellie. And ball-by-ball coverage will continue over on 5 Sports Extra with Ellie and the team. Into the final 10 minutes plus added time here in Sydney on 5 Live. England 1, Denmark 0 at the Women's World Cup as Alex Greenwood takes charge, drives over the halfway line for England, out to the left-hand side, and Rachel Daly. Here is Lauren Hemp off the bench to try and help England get this second goal, which would surely secure the 3 points and potentially, depending on results later, a berth in the last 16. Daly's delivery, the header is flicked on and flicked just wide by Bethany England. Oh, she's in there, she's involved almost immediately after coming off the bench. And I'll tell you what, Karen, she will be so hungry to get on the score sheet and just prove how good she is to everybody who said, oh, she'll come here as the third choice striker and she might not get on the pitch.
No, there's a sense of determination from Bethany England. She picks up really nice spaces in between the centre backs and makes herself always available.
So Denmark coming forward down this left-hand side. Still the slender advantage for England, thanks to that stunner in the opening 6 minutes from Lauren James. But Denmark, down the left they come, ball into the area, cleared away by the England captain Millie Bright, will almost fall for the Everton midfielder Karen Holmgaard. Good fit in by Chloe Kelly, and Lucy Bronze will run the ball up towards halfway, brought down by England. Intelligent pass into the centre of the pitch, and will be played out to the left hand side now with Lauren Hemp racing down that left wing, has Daly there as an option and just slows the play down. Hemp, and Daly will play it forward quickly once more to Hemp, who's bullied out of it by Denmark and Thompson, but the ball over the top is poor and won't reach Amelia Vangsgaard, and Mary Epps can clear out to Lucy Bronze. Karen Bardsley.
Pernille Harder will be really annoyed from that ball over the top. I think she was looking for, obviously, the Danish striker running in behind, but she was so isolated.
Ball over the top for Lauren Hemp to try and run in behind. Thompson, the wide player who's come to fill in at right back, does well, gets across, and the ball is out of play for a Denmark goal kick. All the reaction to this match will be on the Football Daily. Download that from BBC Sounds. Check out Jill Scott's Coffee Club as well while you're there. That sit-down interview with the Lionesses boss, Serena Wiegman, who you can hear from as well in the Football Daily. We'll be getting post-match reaction for you here on 5 Live, and we'll try and bring that to you live as well, as Yanni Thompson picks it up in the right-back position for Denmark. Plays it back to Rega Saveka, who's slotted in at centre-half now, as Denmark look to find this late equaliser. They scored late on in their opening win against China. Can they do so against England, as Tureson almost gets the better of Daly, cleared away over the halfway line by Millie Bright. Saveka gets there ahead of Bethany England. Holmgaard, though, is beaten to it by Georgia Stanway, who then goes down. Our referee Tess Olofsson has a look and says let's continue to play, so Stanway gets up to her feet in the centre circle, and Lucy Bronze has it over on the far side. Lovely bit of play through the legs from Lucy Bronze, the most capped player in England's squad for this tournament, using that experience now as England play the ball over the top. Bethany England will chase. Lena Christensen is out quickly and gathers for Denmark.
I like that about Beth England. She's so happy to drop in and kind of link up play, but she's also really happy to create that threat, that direct threat that I feel like just has been missing in this second half for England.
They still lead the Lionesses by a goal to nil. 6 minutes plus added time to play here on 5 Live, as Thompson plays the ball forward. Well read again by Alex Greenwood. She's had a brilliant match.
She's been excellent, you're absolutely right, and that's what she offers in that central channel.
Here is Lauren James, our lovely footwork to take her past Holmgaard, winning that personal battle on that occasion. Ball forward finds Chloe Kelly, picks it up, right hand side down to the byline, up against Via. Coombs is arriving in the penalty area. Bethany England's in there as well, as Bronze will drive. Well, we've seen her do it at a World Cup. Norway 2015 comes to mind, but that one is wide of angle of post and bar.
It sure does. She loves a banger in a World Cup, doesn't she? But that's the magic of Lauren James, again picking up great balls and progressing them forward, then playing out wide. I mean, the timing, the balances this girl offers, it's magical to watch.
All over the top is intercepted by Millie Bright. I imagine you had quite a good view of that Lucy Bronze hit, Karen Bardsley.
Yes, I did. I remember celebrating by myself, just waiting for the rest of the team to join me.
Didn't do the run all the way up the pitch. I'm disappointed in you. Here is Pernilla Harder. Out to the left-hand side she goes, into Everton's Nicolina Sorensen. Good delivery in, cleared away by Daly. Greenwood was sliding in as well, but Daly, taking no prisoners, thumps it up towards halfway, away from the waiting Pernilla Harder. Excellent defending by Rachel Daly as Denmark have it on the halfway line.
Vanguard's definitely proving a threat so far for this Danish attack.
As Via swings the ball in again, Harder's in there, Daly wins the header once more. She's so dominant in the air, Rachel Daly, using that defensively, being picked at left back. She stayed down inside the penalty area. Denmark, though, will continue to play with Katarina Kuhl. Plays it forward. Daly still down, trying to get back up to her feet. Pernilla Harder just took her eye off the ball there. Does keep it in down by the byline as Daly gets back up to her feet. Turreson lays it off to Pernilla Harder, and now Thompson once more. 4 minutes plus added time to play. England 1, Denmark 0. It's Katarina Kuhl. Dinks the ball out to the left-hand side. England appealing for offside. Flag stays down against Sorensen, who picks it up down by the corner flag. Swings it in, and Vanguard there and hits the post with the header. What an effort from Vanguard. Cleared away at the back by Lauren Hemp for England. And Denmark, the width of the post away from equalising. Well, she scored the winner against China with a header. She's so dangerous in the air. Mary Earps was beaten, and the woodwork comes to England's rescue as Hemp goes sliding in, wings the ball. Denmark throw. Karen Bardsley.
Oh my goodness, and it was kind of a ball that maybe had been given up on a little bit, but Vanguard makes a great run backside across Rachel Daly, and I'll be honest, I don't think Rachel Daly knew anything about where Vangsgaard was actually in relation to the ball, but what a shot missed. Huge opportunity for Denmark.
And they've made another change as Turreson plays that ball across, and fortunately for England goes straight out of play for a goal kick. Reading's Sanna Troelsgaard is on. Everton's Karen Holmgaard is off. 8 goals for Reading this season as they were relegated from the WSL for Troelsgaard. But Vangsgaard, you called it, Karen. You said she'd offered them that threat up front, and seconds later she hits the post with that header. And again, we saw, didn't we? Okay, it was the woodwork this time coming to England's rescue. Put 1-0. They led against Haiti. Huge save at the end from Mary Earps, from Rosalind Elwasson, which would have made it 1-1. And for all England have improved, and it has been a very much improved performance, the post a little bit narrower, and it's 1-1. England are dropping 2 points.
Yeah, we certainly have a lot to be grateful now, I think, as an England fan. But again, this is the threat, that you constantly have to be alive to is in the back four. Particularly, this was a role that Kira Walsh did really well in kind of protecting that back four and slowing down the runs coming centrally. We've seen a tendency of Georgia Stanway to start ball watching a little bit and miss things on the back shoulder.
Laura Coutens clears away, but nobody is out there on the right-hand side, and Nina Christensen, Denmark goalkeeper, can pick it up just inside her own penalty area. Lauren James putting on the pressure, but England under pressure in the final 60 seconds plus added time. They lead Denmark by a 1-0, but look at the space here on the edge of the area. Sorensen almost latching onto it, will pick it up, appeals for handball for England. Referee says no. Sorensen still going, forced out of the penalty area, pulls the ball back across. Millie Bright will clear away. They're furious, the England players. Eventually the flag goes up on the near side, and it will be a free kick to England. But again, the space for Sorensen there. If they get that pass right, if they get the timing right, Denmark, they're in.
I've been so impressed, I think, with Vangsgaard as she's come on. She's making it really difficult. She's occupying both centre backs. She's putting herself in a position where they cannot see her and the ball at the same time, and that makes it so difficult to predict where the run's going to come from, where the pressure's going to come from.
Can England see this out? A victory and Haiti not losing to China later will see them through to the knockout stages, but at the moment I wouldn't say they're hanging on, but certainly Denmark are piling on the pressure. They've hit the woodwork with Vangsgaard. Can they fashion another clear chance and test Mary Earps? England have the throw over on the far side, and Lucy Bronze just doing a few keepy-uppies, and there is that game experience that we talk about, Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, she's absolutely managing the game very well. taking as much time as she can.
Thank goodness it's another 4 minutes at a time from an England perspective. We've had 10, we've had 11, we've had 12, but we know it's something that FIFA said, you can expect a lot of added time. Haven't been too many stoppages, to be fair, in this second half, and I think England will certainly take 4 minutes of added time. They're trying to see this out. They lead by a goal to nil here on BBC Radio 5 Live as Sveke has it, the Danish centre half now, having switched into the centre of that back line, plays it forward over the halfway line. Lauren Hemp gets ahead on it. Did she get a little push on the back there? Referee says no. Lauren James picks it up. Is challenged, goes out for a Denmark throw. And the referee is telling Denmark to take it from where it went out as their manager, Lars Sundergaard, in his grey jacket, gestures with his left hand, trying to organise his side tactically. They're pushing for an equaliser, Denmark. Can the Lionesses hold on? Lauren James is in the centre of the park as Lauren Hemp goes in there, as Alex Greenwood should and does clear away for England. Hemp potentially could have given away a free kick there, but our referee Tess Olofsson says no, but Denmark have it back on the halfway line, and here goes Katrina Vaya, goes for goal once again from distance, and Mary Earps watches it all the way. Huge cheers around the Sydney Football Stadium. Well, she almost caught Earps out with a cross-come shot, didn't she, from the left-hand side, Vaya, but that was from such distance, and Earps dealt with the first one well, and that one she just watched all the way. It's a bit of a waste, really, from Denmark there.
Yeah, it certainly is, Vicky. You're absolutely right, but, from that distance, you're not going to beat someone like Mary Earps. She handles that so easily, moves her feet across the goal and just plucks it out of the air.
Long ball over the top for Lauren Hemp to chase. We've played almost 2 minutes of the minimum 4 added on. It's good defending at the back by Denmark, and Thompson playing it off Lauren Hemp, and it will be a goal kick to Denmark. They're running out of time to find this equaliser. England have 2 minutes to see this out.
Managing these next 2 minutes is going to be crucial. I think we're going to see a more compact, slightly more direct approach from England here.
So Lena Christensen up towards halfway, the Danish goalkeeper, cleared away by Alex Greenwood. Lauren James potentially committing the foul on Vangsgaard there on the halfway line. Referee allows play to continue. Laura Coombs, her major tournament debut, age 32, hoofs the ball over halfway, and Katrina Vaya plays the ball straight out of play, and that's good work by Chloe Kelly to win the throw for England. They're nearly there. 90 seconds of added time to play. England 1, Denmark 0.
I'll tell you what, if I was England, I would keep putting the ball down that right-hand side, because Vaya the Danish defender looks absolutely knackered. She's given away loads of passes and possession at this moment in time, and England just need to keep control of the game, control of the ball.
Lucy Bronze initially did well to shield that, but she's played the ball out of play, and Denmark have a throw midway inside their own half. 1 minute of added time to play as Bethany England gets involved and wins a free kick there. And again, Serena Wiegman walking back to her technical area. She will be delighted with what Bethany England has done there.
Really clever from Bethany England, just to slow the play down. Again, trying to find the players that are struggling a little bit. It's Vaya again, being a bit sloppy in defending, and giving, really, England a chance to wind down the clock a bit.
So they have the free kick over on the far side, England. Bronze is there, Kelly as well. We've got 3 players around the penalty area, but 5 are staying back just inside the Denmark half as Lucy Bronze just stands there. She wants Katarina Kuhl to come and close her down, and then just plays it out to the right-hand side. 15 seconds of added time to play. England are nearly there. James might be offside here. Flag stays down. James has it down by the corner flag. They just need to see this out. It was her goal, her stunner, that got England underway inside 6 minutes, and it looks as though it is her goal, her stunner, that is going to be the difference in this match. She's won a throw deep in Danish territory. We've played the 4 minutes. The referee blows the full-time whistle, and England do win their second group match at this Women's World Cup. Lauren James with an absolute beauty inside the opening 6 minutes. Denmark pressured them in the latter stages of the game. They hit the woodwork as well through Vangsgaard, but in the end, England held firm. It's 2 wins out of 2 for the European champions, for the Lionesses in Australia.
That's huge for England. They can take a lot of confidence going into this next group stage game. Not exactly a comprehensive, performance over 90 minutes, but enough to get through.
Enough. Job done again, and job done much better than they did against Haiti in terms of performance. Improvements all around the pitch from England. They still have more gears to go, we know that, but they will be very satisfied with this. The only blot, the injury to Keira Walsh in the first half, stretched it off with the knee injury, and we very much hope that that is not as serious as it looked at the time. We'll bring you updates on that as soon as we get it, but for now, it's 2 wins out of 2. It's a 100% record so far for England at this World Cup, and they're yet to concede a goal as well. It finishes at the Sydney Football Stadium. England 1, Denmark 0.
Vicky, a little blast of sweet Caroline as one of the 40,000 fans inside this Sydney Football Stadium. You can tell the majority of them were supporting the Lionesses as well. And Gilly Flaherty in London, part of our commentary team here as well. England didn't really kill the game off. They got that job done, but Denmark were pushing so late on.
Yeah, I think Denmark done really well to stay in the game. I think England controlled most of the game, but like I say this on every game that I'll commentate, it's all about momentum, and when you've got the momentum, you punish teams when you have it, which is what England done in the first half when we had the momentum. But I just think, for me, England just worry me a little bit in regards to possession playing out from the back. You're looking at the chances that Denmark had, majority of them come from England's mistakes. But yeah, obviously Vansgaard very unlucky with that header, and England on the other hand very lucky that it hit the post.
And Gilly, it's the fact that Alessia Russo, just on that performance we saw against Haiti as well, she was quiet again, and Sarina Wiegman's calling for that ruthlessness in front of goal. We didn't see that again.
No, I think she is having a quiet tournament. I don't think she's had probably one of her better seasons anyway. Obviously she's scored a lot, but she's been quiet in a lot of games, and I think you're looking before she come into this tournament, obviously there was the talk of her move, and obviously it's been announced that she's going to Arsenal, but I think maybe look after a little bit. There is a lot of pressure riding on her shoulders. She is only young. There's been a lot of talk about who's going to be the number 9. Is it her or Rachel Daly? Maybe put her on the bench for the next game. Obviously in the Euros she had such a big impact coming off the bench. Maybe take the pressure off her a little bit, put her on the bench, give Beth England come on, had a great 15 minutes or so. Maybe rotate that and just look after her.
I think, in terms of Alessia Russo and her output, I think you need to think about how the build-up has changed as well. So that's obviously going to affect the services that she's receiving. And I think you also have to give credit, the work that she's doing off the ball. She's creating opportunities. There's no question about it. Yes, okay, they've not been maybe the most dangerous in front of goal in terms of, the high percentage opportunities. But you also have to think as well, she's not getting the same sort of service that she's used to getting from Ella Toon. The creativity hasn't quite been there in the same sense, but she's still contributing, I think. So I think we need to slow our roll a little bit and just give her a bit more credit.
And Vicky, did we see on that performance, especially first half, before that Keira Walsh injury in the 38th minute, that England did have their identity back?
Yeah, I think that they certainly played a lot better than they did against Haiti. I think all round. I think where the momentum was lost was in the second half. But I think it will be interesting to hear from Sarina Wiegman and the players afterwards in terms of the impact that Keira Walsh injury had. I mean, they will have gone in at half-time. They will have a better idea. Of course, she'll only have been assessed within the hour or so. They'll need to do a more in-depth assessment before they can tell us exactly what the injury is and how long it will keep her out, but they will have a pretty good idea, that the players and Walsh, of how serious that might be and how that does change your mindset in the second half, and actually you're then thinking about, okay, well, this is Laura Coombs, she's huge experience, had a great season with Manchester City, but the first major tournament debut, how do we kind of build that in the midfield, and just changes things narrative-wise for England.
Vicky, Karen, Gilly, we're going to have so much more reaction to this game in the next half hour. Lauren James, I can see, she is the player of the match. She's doing her broadcast interviews right now on the pitch in front of us, but it is approaching 8:30 here in Sydney, 11:30 in the UK. We can get the latest news from Karisha Patel. So it's 2 wins from 2 for England, and it may well be enough to send them through to the knockouts of this World Cup. That will be the case if China fail to beat Haiti later on. But this has been hugely overshadowed, the performance by England, by what looks like a really bad injury for Keira Walsh. Vicky Sparks.
As you say, Jules, that is the real blots on this game for England. A game which was much improved in terms of performance. But Kira Walsh stretched it off in the first half with a knee injury, and we await news on how serious that is. But it's one of those where they have their captain Leah Williamson missing for this, the Lionesses, with an ACL injury. Beth Mead, the player of the tournament at the Euros, the Golden Boot winner at the Euros last summer, missing, both because of ACL injuries. It's not the same. And we just hope that it is not the same for Kira Walsh. But England did have so much to praise about this performance, and Sarina Wiegman got the big calls right again. All the talk pre-match was about her decision to bring Rachel Daly back in at left back. Now, Daly played there for England as they won the Euros last summer, but she won the WSL Golden Boot as a forward with Aston Villa this season. Lauren James also came in, and that decision paid off within 6 minutes. Daly setting up James, who unleashed a super strike from the edge of the box, which in the end proved to be the match winner. Denmark did have their moments, notably late on, substitute Amalie Vangsgaard hitting the post with a header. But overall, this was a deserved win for England. They will still know, though, that they do have higher levels to hit, particularly when it comes to that ruthlessness that Wiegman spoke about pre-match. But overall, this was a much better performance than the opener against Haiti.
Well, we can see on the big screens here in the Sydney Football Stadium, England top Group D with 6 points. But that injury, Karen Bardsley and Gilly Flaherty to Kira Walsh, is dominating their performance, is dominating the talking points as well. Beth Mead straight away tweeting emoji sadness after she was stretchered off. Beth Mead knows all about serious knee injuries, and you were saying during commentary that it didn't look good from you watching it on the television screens, and you were getting all that reaction and all that emotion in Kira Walsh's face as she was stretchered off.
Yeah, I mean, she looked straight over to the bench. Obviously, I'm guessing you guys could see her waving her hand in the air as well, but she goes straight to the bench and she goes, it's my knee, and she's like doing the whole, like, they're just showing it back again now, where she's basically like cutting the throat, saying I've done it. And I mean, like I said, we all hope and pray that it's not that, but I feel for England as well, because I think she's going to be such a huge loss, you know. And Kira Walsh, I think last year in the Euros as well, was one of those players that goes under the radar, you know, and people talk about the goal scorers all the time and the flair of the attacking side, but for me, Kira Walsh dictates play for England. You know, she controls it in the middle, in possession, she sprays the passes, she controls it. 9 times out of 10 when teams play against England, they want to double up on Kira Walsh because she's so effective. And then defensively, she's just that brick wall in front of the back four, and you know, the defensive duties. And I just worry a little bit, because I think the players that England have got, yes, you've got obviously Laura Coombs, you've got Georgia Stanway in there, but for me, they're both more attacking players rather than the defensive side, and that's one worry that I have with obviously Kira Walsh getting injured.
I think it's a valid concern to have, Jilly. How do you fill the shoes of someone like Kira Walsh? You know, you bring in some great points about how, you know, she is essentially like the link. She always brings other players into play, and everything, you know, that typically ends in a goal or ends in a shot on target anyway seems to go through Kira Walsh. So, you know, we saw Georgia Stanway in the Euros play alongside Kira Walsh at times, and I think at this point in time, you know, the thoughts are going to be with Kira Walsh and making sure that she's got everything and all the support that she needs. But there will come a time when the focus does turn on who's going to play that role and who has the capabilities to execute it in the best way possible. What we've seen with this team, though, is that they will do anything it takes for each other. And listen, when that time comes, and if it's going to be Georgia Stanway who plays there, don't forget, I mean, we've got excellent depth going forward as well. So there's a lot of versatility and a lot of ability in this squad.
Sarina has told one broadcaster already, because she is going through her media duties right now, that she doesn't know the extent of the injury yet to Kira Walsh, and hopefully we'll be joined by Sarina Wiegman before we leave here in Sydney. The one thing I noticed when she did go down on her own, Vicky, that she didn't really want any of her teammates to be around her. She was sort of saying to them, you know, go away. And it just goes to show how much attention she doesn't seem to like on her in those moments, when she obviously does really well, performs really well, but also in the other moments as well.
And I think it's almost, you know, different players react in different ways, don't they? And if she fears that she has suffered a serious knee injury, for her at that moment, she didn't want anyone near her. She was in that moment of pain, not just with her knee, but, you know, mental pain, emotional pain. by herself and didn't want, as you say, that attention and the comfort and the concern. It's almost as well, you know, we can't speak for her, but in a way that she didn't want that. She didn't want to absorb that. It was just her and her knee at that moment, and it will be heartbreaking. It will be utterly heartbreaking for Walsh and for England if this is another ACL. And you know, we know that research is going into it and why it seems to happen more often in the women's game, but you know, as we say, having lost Leah Williamson, having lost Beth Mead to ACL injuries, so they're not at this tournament, it's heartbreaking. And Karen, I know you're someone who knows her so well, having played with her at Manchester City, and I know for you it was hard to watch that.
Yeah, it really was. It was really, oh God, it was just heartbreaking really to see the anguish on her face. I certainly have an idea of the thoughts that were going through her head in that moment in time. I've picked up a few injuries along the way in really unfortunate moments in my career, but you know, to the point around Kira not wanting people around her, there's so much going on in front of you. Like, you just, as helpful as the teammates want to be, you know, like adding more bodies to the situation actually kind of heightens things and it makes it more uncomfortable. So it kind of has a reverse effect at times. You think, oh, you know, having that compassion is something that you want in that moment, but actually she's trying to make sense of what's going on. Is it bad? Is it not bad? You know, did the physios need to come over? You know, like, how do you process it? And so everyone handles things in their own way. But listen, she'll be a huge miss. My thoughts are with her family. I know that her parents are probably here and really upset and concerned about the welfare of their daughter at the end of the day. And, you know, arguably that's the most important thing.
Karen, the one thing you did say in commentary before, obviously we know what this injury is that, you know, she'll be frightened. She'll be scared. We did see her in the second half appear on the bench. She was using crutches to make her way there. Gilly, Jonas Eidevall, the Arsenal manager, was saying on BBC One that the pitch looked dry from his point of view, and you could see on the movement when Kira went to slide with the right foot that it stops and then the knee twists. He just said the pitch, it was such a dry pitch that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and I tweeted as well when it happened, was just a bit like no, sort of, please tell us that it's not what we think it is. And someone tweeted back saying the pitch looks so dry. And you do, when you watch it back, you see her initial, it seems like in your boots, the studs, the top two studs get caught. But obviously the way her feet get caught, or foot gets caught, but her body's obviously going with the momentum still. And you can see it straight away. I think I'll go back to when Leah Williamson done hers, and I was there at that game too. It's the initial reaction, you know, and no one can tell you better than yourself that you know it's something serious. And like I said, Kira's reaction was very similar to Leah's reaction, with the flagging down the bench straight away, and she knew. And yeah, I think it's difficult with an ACL because, I mean, I touch wood all the time that I was lucky enough never to experience it, but I think even for me, when I watch players do it, the first thing I think of is it's a 9 to 12 month layoff minimum, you know. And I think that's what's gutting, is it's not just you potentially tear your hamstring or you get a little groin strain or whatever, and it's 2-3 months potentially at the most. You know that it's such a long, lengthy layoff. And you're looking at, like, the example, Beth Mead and Viv Miedema and obviously Leah Williamson, is they're going to go through so much physically and mentally and be away from the team for a long period of time. And that's what I think. Kira Walsh is going to be away for the game from a long period of time, near enough a season. And I think that's why we hope and pray that it's not what we think it is.
Well, we can hear now from the England captain, Millie Bright. She's with Katie Smith.
Yeah, England captain Millie Bright with me live here on 5 Live. Millie, you've got a smile on your face. It's 3 points. It's another clean sheet. You're on the verge of the round of 16 as well. Just summarise that performance for us.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting game, very end-to-end. But yeah, overall, I think we're really pleased, you know, to be in this position. 2 games, 2 wins, 2 clean sheets. Some really good parts of both games as well. But yeah, tonight I think mentality and character was a big part of the second half, especially. First half, really good football and a wonderful goal from LJ. But yeah, overall, really, really happy to be in the position that we're in.
The boss made 2 changes. That first 20 minutes, it really felt like a free-flowing England side. We've got to talk about that injury, though, to Kira Walsh. It felt like a momentum shift there. Have you managed to speak to her? Do you know how she's feeling right now?
I've not spoke to her yet. I've just come straight off the pitch and straight into media, but I'm sure we'll all be around her, and we hope for the best in that situation. It's not nice seeing anyone go off like that, and as a player it's really hard. You have a split second where you've got so many things going through your head, and then immediately you have to adapt, make changes, and like I said, I think first half we played some really good football. Like you said, I think that was the main probably improvement from the previous game, was it felt a bit more fluid and we've really found our rhythm, but like you said, anyone going off like that does rock the boat a little bit. It's a big hit, but we adapted really well as a team, and credit to all the players and the girls' mentality. Like I said, it's massive, and in tournament football you need character and mentality. It's not going to be easy, but we're prepared to keep improving, keep playing, representing the badge and giving absolutely everything.
We saw Rachel Daly back at left back tonight. Did it feel like deja vu back at the Euros again?
It did actually a little bit. She just said that earlier as well. But she's an unbelievable player. She'll do absolutely anything for the team, and she's so versatile. And like I said, we've got a team full of very talented players that are willing to do absolutely everything. So it's a real honour to be a part of this squad.
And just finally, Lucy Bronze said this week you'll take a 1-0 win every single round if that gets you through to the sharp end of this tournament. You're nodding your head. How big is performance in that?
Performance always plays a part, but ultimately tournament football is about winning. It's about getting over that white line and getting the job done, and we've proved in both games that we're prepared to absolutely do anything to get that win and get that clean sheet. And I completely agree with Lucy. I'd take a 1-0 any day and a clean sheet, and we want to keep going on this journey, and I think it's the second game in, so you want to build your momentum and keep performing. You don't want to peak too soon, so I'd take the last two performances any day from the girls, and I'm really proud of them.
Millie, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, cheers, thanks very much.
England captain Millie Bright there, talking about how England showed character. They had to dig in to get that result tonight. Talked about Kira Walsh, didn't really know too much about the injury yet, but said that they would be all around her, the England team, and they hope for the best. Just quickly, before we go and talk about the match itself, it's worth noting that there's a special Football Daily podcast available right now on BBC Sounds. It was done just before the World Cup started. It was with Kelly Cates discussing the increase of serious knee injuries that seem to be dominating the women's game right now, and you can find that on the Football Daily feed. Jack has messaged us to say England are now missing their three most influential players from the Euros in Walsh, Williamson and Mead. It's a big ask to win the World Cup now as far as he's concerned. But Karen Bardsley, overall, when you look on the performance, the players talked about building on the win over Haiti. Did you see what you wanted to today?
Yes, absolutely. I think Millie touched on it there in terms of the first half. That was much, much better football than what we saw over the course of the 90 minutes against Haiti. I think the ball speed was there, the tempo of the game, the play was being switched quickly, up until that, the injury with Kira Walsh, that everything was going through her, and then there was so much space appearing in between the ranks of that Denmark side that they were finding it so difficult to get on the ball. And I think that was what I loved the most. That was the glimpse of the old England that we're used to seeing, before all of these injuries. So it is there. I can take a lot of confidence from that, and so can the girls.
It's interesting, isn't it? We discussed at half-time how much the mentality of what had happened to Kira Walsh would affect the side, and I think it was interesting that Millie did really touch on it there, and talked about mentality and resilience, and clearly it did affect them at half time, and emotionally of course it's going to see a teammate happen. And you are thinking, you're not just thinking about that game, but as Jack's just texted in, you are thinking she is a huge player for us, and you've got the emotional side of it, you've got the team side of it, you've got the England Lioness, this tournament side of it. All of those emotions are going through, and having got that early leads, you can understand why it was about mentality. It was in some respects about seeing the game out in a way that I don't think they necessarily would have approached it in that way had it not been for the injury to Kira.
Agreed, absolutely agreed. I think in terms of the control that they were getting when Kira was on the ball in that central channel, there was a huge shift when she came off. I think we lost a bit of attacking impetus. I think when Georgia Stanway had to drop in and maintain that kind of shielding role that maybe she's slightly less accustomed to than obviously Kira Walsh is. So a little bit of, Laura Coombs did well enough to kind of link up play and be simple, but she's not going to, be as aggressive going forward maybe as Georgia Stanway will, but, we still know that she's got some quality in the locker as well.
And there's an element as well in terms of Kira Walsh was never going to be rotated at this tournament. So what they've done in training, and of course Laura Coombs will have been involved in training and all of that, but this isn't a scenario that they would have necessarily planned for.
I don't agree. The only reason I say that is purely and simply because Serena is the most logical and pragmatic person I've ever met in my entire life, and she will have gone through every single permutation of what could potentially happen. So she will have had something in the back pocket.
The goal scorer, the player of the match, Lauren James, she certainly made her mark, hasn't she, on the World Cup stage, Karen?
Yeah, wow, what a player she is. And much of the success that we were obviously seeing in the first half was going through Lauren James. There was one moment where I just looked up and across the pitch and saw that she was in between, 4 Denmark players, completely just unmarked. They didn't know whether to go, who was picking her up, and I just kind of love that relaxed sort of wandering into space that she seems to embody, and she's always available, always there to kind of link up play, and she brings other people into play all the time.
Well, we can hear from Lauren James now. She's talking to Joe Curry.
Well, Lauren, massive congratulations firstly on the win, but also this is your first game starting at a World Cup. It took you all of 6 minutes to score an absolute screamer of a goal. That must have been up there with one of the more special moments in your career.
Yeah, definitely. It was a dream. It was something I've been thinking about, but most importantly, just happy to help the team win.
You look like you were peeling off to celebrate before the ball had even hit the back of the net. Did you know as soon as you struck it where it was going?
I kind of had a thought, but then as soon as it hit the net, I was just like, it was just a relief.
Your teammates, I haven't seen no smiles on their faces since this World Cup began, really. What did they say to you when that ball went in?
They were just really happy for me, and to be fair, they said it before the game. They had a good feeling about me today. And yeah, I'm just thankful I've got good people around me.
You seem very calm and collected for someone who just scored the winning goal in a World Cup game.
Yeah, I'm calm all around on and off the pitch, and I just try to bring that to my game as well, and today it showed that and helped.
Well, look, enjoy this evening. I suspect your phone will be blowing up a bit later, but well done.
Thank you.
Lauren James talking there to Joe Curry. Gilly, it took her 1 minute and 42 seconds to show why she's in the team for England against Denmark, and then 4 minutes later to see that absolute smash of a goal, a real stunner, that sidestep and that curl to give England that win.
How many times have we seen that this season, or the season just gone in the WSL, where she does that for Chelsea? She picks the ball up, she drives inside, both off the left side and the right side as well, because she's right and left footed, and puts the ball in the back of the net like she did. And I was so impressed with Lauren James, because I do feel that she's much better when she can get the ball central than out wide. But what I noticed as well when she was out wide is in previous games when she's played there, when the ball's on the opposite side of the pitch and the ball's got delivered, sometimes she's switched off at the back post. So she's not really been alive, she's not really been coming in. But what you see from minute 1 today is that when the ball was on the right-hand side and she was on the left, when the deliveries are coming in, she's following it in. So she was in the box. You see the chance that dropped down, sort of caught off her knee, her shin, and rolled to the goalkeeper. She's staying alive for the second phase. She's coming in. She's not just chilling out on the line. She's locking off the back of posts. And yeah, I think today was one of her best games.
Does she start now for you, Gilly? Is this her starting for the rest of the tournament in your mind?
I would definitely start her the next game. I think when you've got a player like Lauren James as well, who, when you can tell when she's got confidence. You've seen it this year for Chelsea when she hasn't particularly had confidence, and Emma's rested her. Because I think with Lauren James, she's a confidence player. You need to get her the ball, you need to get her doing things. And I think today, obviously she scored the winner, but she's had such an influence as well. I do like to see her more in the middle, but to be able to give that freedom, and I think with Rachel Daly there at left back as well, being able to go higher and go forward more, it allows Lauren James to come in and create an overload as well in the central part of the pitch. But yeah, for me, she's one of England's most creative players on the pitch, if not the most.
I would agree with that completely, Julie, in terms of her creativity. I think for me there were a few question marks lingering around whether or not James could fit, into Serena Wiegmann's plans for the entirety of 90 minutes, and how committed was she to the defensive side of the game? Not committed is the wrong word. I think was she aware of the defensive responsibilities? Especially in those central areas as well. And I think tonight, she's absolutely shown that she's more than capable of doing it. And she's just been an absolute dream to watch. I think ultimately what I've noticed the most is just, the calmness, the confidence that she exudes for someone that's 21 years old on the world stage. It's just, it's really inspirational to watch. So, in terms of looking at the young players growing up and having someone to idolize like Lauren James, I think that's really inspiring in itself.
But also, Gilly, it's the fact that we know that Serena Wiegmann does put that onus and pressure on the more experienced players on the pitch, and yet it's one of the youngest who stepped up against Denmark.
Not that I say I don't feel like Lauren James feels pressure, but I feel she's just one of those players where, like she says in that in the interview there, she's calm. On and off the pitch, she's calm. And I remember coaching against Lauren James when she was about 9-10 years old, and she literally used to pick the ball up. I think it was 7-a-side. She'd pick the ball up from the goalkeeper, but she'd run the whole length of the pitch and put it in. And I knew from that day that she was going to be a very special player.
Gilly, Serena Wiegmann is with Katie Smith.
Serena, congratulations, another win. I feel we should start, though, with that really horrible moment for Kira Walsh, stretchered off. Just firstly, how is she and how's the mood amongst the group right now?
Yeah, of course, we're very happy with the 3 points. And yes, we're sad that Kira had to go off the way she had to go off. She's doing all right. She's in the dressing room with the medical staff, and we just don't know yet what the situation is.
Yeah, we saw her come back and watch the rest of the match on crutches. She looked devastated. She seemed to be talking about her knee. Of course, we can't speculate at this point, but
we don't know what's going on in the knee, and so let's not take any assumptions. Let's wait till we really know what's going on.
All the talk before the match was, of course, whether you were going to make those changes or not. You made 2 changes. We saw Rachel Daly starting at left back, Lauren James making her first start. What an impact she had. Just assess the match for us, the changes from Haiti.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think the game against Denmark was a total different game than the game against Haiti. 2 total different opponents. And I thought this game we started really well. We wanted to exploit the pockets, to play in the pockets and get behind. And I think that's what we did really well. The ball was really moving. So that looked very good. And then a part of the game, after about 25 minutes, we lost the ball a couple of times where we shouldn't. And then they had some counterattacks, but still it looked really good. And of course, when Kira got injured, we had to kind of find our feet again. We needed to sub. We needed to get adapted in a new situation, and we really showed resilience then. And also in the second half, of course, at the end, Denmark tried to force, and then we showed we can fight too to keep the nil. And so, yeah, I'm very proud of the team how we did that.
And what a goal for young Lauren James. Let's talk about her for a moment, sort of announcing herself on this World Cup stage. Perhaps a lot of talk leading into this tournament about players that aren't here. And it's a nice moment to be able to talk about someone who is maybe stepping up in that moment.
Yeah, well, I think, as I say all the time, we have a squad of 23. And yes, you've been talking a lot about players who aren't here, but we still have a very, very talented group. That's what we showed. And of course, it's new. The whole environment is new. So some players who are here for the first time, yes, they are... of course, they're now getting these experiences, and that's the same for LJ. And she did well, and we're being a little bit careful with her too.
And on the verge of the round of 16, just a word on how you look ahead to China now.
Yeah, let's first wait what the game tonight will bring us, and then tomorrow we'll review this match first, and then we're going to start talking about China.
Well, enjoy the win. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Katie. Serena Wiegmann there with Katie Smith. Some final thoughts from you, Gilly, and also Karen from that interview. They're not assuming what the injury is. They said that Kira Walsh, as far as Serena Wiegmann is concerned, she says she's doing okay. She's now with the medical team. On the performance, Gilly. She said that England found resilience, they showed how to fight, and obviously conceded that they lost rhythm after Keira Walsh went off late in the first half. Do you think that's a fair assessment from the England manager, Gilly?
Yeah, I think it is, and obviously KB said exactly the same. You know, the injury did disrupt England, you know, and there'll be so many thoughts that will go through the players' minds, but the main thing is that they stayed it out, you know, and they held on to half time. And it's one of them ones where it might not be pretty at times, but the main thing is that you get the win and you get the 3 points.
Yeah, you know, in terms of, okay, she was spot on with the things that she said. You know, they lost the rhythm. The game started out very, very well. The game plan in terms of finding the space worked very, very well. You know, overall, I think it's a fair assessment. You know, going back to the Keira Walsh, you know, knee protocol, what that's like, you know, with an injury, something like that, you know, there's a lot of swelling that kind of happens immediately, and you're never going to know without kind of going through the correct channels and procedures. So I'm sure there'll be scans and things like that, and they're just going to have to wait until the swelling goes down to get a fair assessment of what's going on. So I can't imagine we'll probably hear anything overnight.
Yeah, it's inside the knee. That's what Serena Wiegman said. And as you say, if there is swelling, you've got to wait for all that to go down as well. So more reaction to today's match on 5 Live Sport tonight. Jonas Eidevall and Carly Telford will be with us from 7:30. England against China. That's next up. It's live on 5 Live from 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning. England's final group match. You can keep up to date with that, with all the news as well from here in Australia on the Football Daily. So far, so good. Adrian, another 1-0 win, but obviously waiting for that news of the knee injury to Keira Walsh.
Cheers, Juliet. We'll cross everything, of course. Let's start with the news at just coming up to 3 minutes past 12.